Before we go, I'm getting questions about the shake. How did the shake taste? Where would you
It
rate
was
it? What did the shake taste
disgusting.
like? Well, how disgusting?
Gross.
How disgusting? Like, give me a rating. Give me a Perry rating.
It was gross, man. It was like a 7 for 1 to 10 on fucking
A
gross. It was
seven. A seven's pretty high.
seven meaning it was sickening 7.
Oh, like on the
Disgusting
gross
7.
meter, where 10 is the grossest.
Yeah, 10
Okay.
is the 10 is the grossest. 7 is up there.
Okay.
Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow. Thank you.
Good night, Perry.
All right. Thanks.
Great job.
Thank you. So how many did we have tonight? That's it? What's that twice that? What's that when we're 1,000?
Well, Perry, keep in
Where's
mind
the
it's 20 minutes
1,000?
to 3 a.m. on the East Coast, so having over 400 people is
God
not
damn it,
bad.
I want 1,000, God, because I'm fucking, I can't even talk. I want 1,000 on our stream.
We'll get
Can't even
there.
talk.
We'll get there.
1,000 on my stream. Oh!
We'll get there, pal. All right. Good night.
1,000.
All right, he's gone. Well, that was. I thought that was as good as it could go, as far as everything's concerned. Yeah, I want 1,000 too. He wants 1,000. I'm glad he wants 1,000. But we'll get him a nice. I won't interrupt him during his porno hub session. We'll get him a nice steak dinner tomorrow, and I think he earned it. And yeah, I'll have to call. I'll have to call over to the sergeant over his local police just to talk to him and feel things out. But we really, I can't express how well that was handled, and you guys too. By the way, you guys handled it really well too. So that was, for a weird situation. I mean, that was. And I'll see if I could put up the. I'm gonna vet it a little bit. I'm gonna see what the opinion is, and actually, I'm gonna ask the when I call tomorrow and ask the sergeant. I'm gonna ask him if it's okay to release the footage of the officers, outside, because it's probably interesting to see just how he handled it. But I'm gonna ask their permission first before I do that. I don't want to, I don't want to do anything. Out of school or try to sensationalize it in any way. I don't want to do that. Oh yeah, sorry about that, Larry. We'll get you next week, Larry. I'll get you next week. Yeah, I have that on my phone too. Sometimes after midnight, my phone kicks into do not disturb. Will I ask him, period? Can I kindly use the ring footage of your officers pointing their guns at me for my channel, please? I'd like to get 1,000 views, and that would be really. Buckshot, what the deal is with Mechanic is Perry's mom was assaulted by a mechanic back in Palm Springs years ago, and some people have turned that into a gag, which is really cringe and not cool. So early on with the streams, a lot of people were doing the mechanic thing in regards to his mom, which I just think is kind of abhorrent and not funny. So that's why it's blocked out. I know it's a really stupid thing to be a bad word, but that's what it is. So yeah, and whenever there's something bleeped, like it's usually his city or whatever. I'll at least read it, so it'll get read. But I'm wearing what am I wearing? I'm wearing pajama shorts and a gray t-shirt, plain gray t-shirt. Nothing exciting. So, man, I was so fucked the other night. I stayed up. God, I don't know how long we were on the I don't know how long we were on the after show for. But well into Saturday morning, but I was so screwed up yesterday. I had to be up at like earlier than I thought. I had to be up at like 8:30, and I was a zombie yesterday, to the point where like yesterday around like 8:30 p.m. I pretty much just stopped. Like my body shut down, and I couldn't even think straight, and I had to just go to bed. I was in bed at like 7. No, 9. I was in bed at 9. So I can't do that again today, because I'm moving in a week. I'm moving in like a week from tomorrow, so I got a lot of shit to do this week. Good job, Tom. You've a lot nicer to Perry lately? What does that mean? When am I not nice to Perry? I've been paying his bills for the past 4 years. How was that not nice? You couldn't hang. I couldn't hang either for the after hours. What I did, Jesus. Yeah, moving sucks. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, and I moved last year. I moved the same time last year, and I moved the year before that. So this is the third year in a row that I'm moving, and I'm hoping this is the. I'm hoping this is the last time for a while, at least. Yeah, Captain Kirk. Yeah, I was thinking about you actually. I was actually gonna write. I forgot because I was so out of it yesterday. But we're gonna write you about the Irish thing. That we should start a podcast about how to overcome repressed Irish emotions. Because I was thinking about some of the things you were saying the other night about being Irish and not being able to show. Being stubborn and asking for help, and also showing emotion. I was thinking about that. I was like, hey, we should do a podcast on helping just for Irish people who grow up in Irish households who have that like kind of weird thing. Bye, Mr. Patsy. You're not going to miss much. I'm not staying on long. I really am not. In fact, I got to call Perry too. Yeah, I still have stuff in boxes from last summer. Like literally stuff in boxes that I have not touched in a year. The Irish are impervious to therapy. That's true. My thoughts on Aerosmith. Neither here nor there. I like some of their early songs. There's some catchy songs. I don't know any deep cuts. I never listened to an Aerosmith album. I've never seen them live. But I don't like kick them out of I don't kick them out of bed and thumb my nose to them. I'm trying to, as I get older in life, I'm trying to be less of a music snob. Because I'm a bit of an audiophile, so I like to sample different music, even if I don't. It's not necessarily in my wheelhouse. So I try. When I was younger, when I was in my 20s, I was such a music snob to the point where it was nauseating. But I try to be a little open-minded. Am I married? No, I'm not married. Yeah, it would be funny. You have a Yeti mic? I totally, we should do it at least one night on the after hours. Not tonight. I can't do it tonight. But we should I thought it was a fascinating topic the more and more I thought about it, because I have so many thoughts on it. And my sisters do too. I actually talked to my sister yesterday, and I kind of, they don't really know that I do this, but I was bringing it up to my youngest sister, who I'm really close with, and I was like, hey, like, do you accept help when you need help, or do you have a hard time showing emotion one way or the other, even if you're in a movie and you have a tear streaming down your eye? And she's like, oh my god, I will wipe that shit away so fast, no one's going to see me vulnerable. And I think that's the crust of it. And what I really thought about, and this, I can only speak for myself, but I think I've always both feared and craved vulnerability at the same time, which is a weird thing to be fighting against each other. But it's a thing that I want deep down, but it's a thing that I also fight against, allowing yourself to be vulnerable. And it has got to be other cultures that come in that, but yeah. Move in with Perry? No, that's not going to happen. You just listen. Yeah, it's funny. Like Led Zeppelin, I'm not a big fan of, but I got into the Rolling Stones really late. Like I thought the Rolling Stones sucked when I was a teenager. You know, I was a teenager. I was into my music and what I liked, and I thought the Rolling Stones were cringe and old man band. And now I fucking love the Rolling Stones. You know, like constant rotation. So people evolve. Same thing with the Who. I didn't like the Who either, and now I kind of like the Who. Not as much as the Rolling Stones though. Hey, Tony, man, thanks again. I'm just going to read what you wrote here. I feel like I've said goodnight 2 or 3 times, but I keep tuning in trying to play Battlefield all night and couldn't turn away from the stream. Boy, much love, Tom, Moz, and Perry. Tony, you're great. And I don't know if I expressed it enough in the moment when you send in those sub donations, but, man, it's so awesome. And you've been so great, and I really appreciate it. It's very... The one thing that I can't express freely is just the overwhelming feeling I have of all these people, you know, contributing to the stream, enjoying the stream, and also, you know, contributing your time, because it's also like, you know, God, 3 days a week, 6 hours at a clip sometimes, plus, and then plus, you know, you're contributing financially, and it's nice to have that support system, because it was really, really hard going. Like, again, I don't want to be a broken record, but this time last year I was really out on a ledge by myself, and just completely panicked about how I was going to take care of Perry and myself. And now, you know, it's a very different ball game and spectrum, and it's 100% thanks to you guys. And if I don't acknowledge my gratitude and appreciation enough, you know, on the stream or elsewhere, please know that I get very, you know, it's a very emotional thing for me, because, you know, I can get into the past 4 years, but it was hard going, and you know, now we're finally taking care of some stuff, and there's a possibility that this could be a nice thing, you know, going forward. So thank you, Tony. Thanks to everybody else. Oh, you're in Japan, Captain? But it's a good topic. I'd like to do it one day. We'll just do a one-off podcast. I want to bring back. I'm thinking of bringing back my old podcast with a friend of mine. But maybe you and I do that one, just about the Irish stuff, because I could write a book on it. Never allow yourself to be vulnerable. It's never worth it. I agree. That's how I always treated it in like relationships. Like I always put like a giant wall up. All right, good night, Captain. Enjoy those drinks and enjoy Japan. Cheers. Oh, you're Keith Richards, Faster Play? Well, good Lord. I'm so sorry for not respecting you more. Tony says, I always feel appreciated, and I hope you guys too. You guys deserve it. This is a great project. Yeah, you're a good man, Tom. Thank you, Tony. I really appreciate that. Tom and Robert show. Yeah, I'd like to do Robert's really good. We have great. We'd have to do it from his pool, because we have the best conversations from his pool. We'll just go poolside and we'll talk about movies or old TV shows, like shitty sitcoms we grew up with, or, you know, video games, or, you know, whatever. We have some really great cocktails in the pool, and some good conversation. So that would be a good. Yeah, maybe we rotate. Have different people every week. 100% chance Perry hasn't mentioned his skateboard podcast since Tom made him realize he has to do all the work. Yeah, I know. It's funny how that happened. He was like begging me for it, and now all of a sudden it's mum's the word. He's gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I mean, and it's gonna be horrible. You know, it's gonna be fucking horrible. But yeah. Yeah, so I used to do this podcast years ago with 2 other guys, right? And it was fun. We would talk about, we would have a different topic each week. You know, it wasn't that much different from any other podcast. But the guy the main guy, I like to consider that I was the main guy, but the one guy, like, just kind of lost his mind. and he just shut down. And I think he had a bad thing with his wife, and was going through some stuff. And he had all the archive. He did the stuff where he uploaded everything, and he was like, obsessive with editing and stuff, which I kind of get because I'm like that. But he just like had a breakdown, and then like just took the whole thing down. Said that we'll take a little break, and then he literally disappeared, like just disappeared. So he has all the old shows and everything, and it's years ago now. I'd probably be really embarrassed by them at this point. But me and the other guy that I did it with, we've been talking about maybe doing it again. I don't know how I'm gonna find time to do it, but and it's just for fun. It's like once a week or so. Anybody else surprised that Perry has only 8 eggs? Yeah, I am, because he had a whole Kirkland thing in there. Somebody must have came over and took some, because like last Sunday, the last time I was in there, his fridge was stacked. He had tons of eggs, and then he had that box that was delivered, and he actually kept some from there. There was so many. So yeah, now he's out. Yeah, Tom is the bizarro Mark Harris. When Perry passes away, I'll get $2.4 million in debt and the Corolla. Can you imagine? Oh, you have a hot tub we can use? Well, maybe we'll do that, because his hot tub cannot be used. That thing was disgusting and it didn't work. I did scope it out. I thought, and for the hot tubs, I thought maybe it'd be funny we did it for like 20 minutes or so. Maybe early in the day, but whatever. Tony Hawk would be a good guest on the skating podcast. Yeah, everybody forgot to take eggs before. Like I said, you could have you would have taken a shit ton of eggs, but whatever. Is that Tom? That's why you smell sulfur at Perry's, because all the egg farts. Yeah, I worked out the hot tub stream too, and I was gonna bring my laptop out, and I was actually worried, like, oh, I hope it doesn't get damaged by the hot tub, But I had a Bluetooth speaker, so we'd hear the comments and the screen and everything, and we'd just be out there for like 20 minutes or so. But when Garrett Perry and I were out there, I think it was last Wednesday, late after the after hours last Wednesday. And we just, Perry went to turn on, like the motor works inside, but it did nothing. And it was dirty. Like there was like dirt in it, as you would expect, I guess. It was just disgusting. The hot tub fit a good amount of people. You can probably fit, I'd say 6 or 8 people in there. 6 comfortably, 8 uncomfortably, maybe. How does it feel when Perry burps in my face? You can smell what he's burping, so it's disgusting. Is Perry still drinking bulletproof coffee? I think so, but he hasn't mentioned it lately. Tony Hawk should play Tony Hawk with Perry. I like that idea. That's good. Speaking of Perry, I gotta call him real quick. Hang on a second. Just give me 1 second. Hang on 1 second. Before he goes to bed. Buy a kiddie pump with boiling water in it. He might be busy. Oh my god, that's disgusting. Mumbles. Imagine one of his exes making out and he burps in their mouth. Okay, he's not answering, so that leads me to believe that he's busy. Oh, that's nice, Robert. Robert just wrote me, if you don't mind sharing this. What a great show. Love the new cameras. Can't wait to see what you do from here. Totally different, but awesome. That's good. Yeah, I wanted a good stream tonight. I figured Subscriber Sunday would pull that in, because I didn't like, not that I didn't like it, I just, last Wednesday, not the one that I was at, the one that I wasn't at, the one when I was still in California, I didn't love it because I felt like we were all kind of, including everybody, me, Perry, and everybody watching. I felt like there was still a hangover from TomB week, but I wanted to stick to the schedule and still get it. And then Friday, I thought he was a little low energy. It was okay, low energy, and I feel like today we're back. Tonight we're back. Obviously some challenges thrown in there, but it was good. And we got Trevor on. So that was good. Yeah, so the new camera, the only issue I have that I got to work it out is that I think it steals bandwidth from the main stream. So once I switch that other camera, it's even though he has a really good internet plan that I pay for, but it wasn't. I don't know. I got to figure that out. I got to maybe pay for an actual phone plan with like really good 5G. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But that's going to be the future. Like if he goes into the kitchen, that's what I want, and more seamless than what was on there tonight. I was kind of doing it on the fly, like resizing the camera and stuff like that. But I want it to be thing. And yeah, if I had to do it over again, I would have taken a week or two off after last Sunday. Because I think we all needed it, not just me and not just Perry, but even you guys. Just like. Let's take a breath. I think a week would have been good, and then like have tonight as the comeback stream, taking Wednesday and Friday off. And if I had to do it all over again, that's what I would have done. But we're applying for a Twitch partnership again, and they really want you to stick to a schedule because they look at how many times a week you stream. Because when we did it back when we were only doing 2 days a week, they turned us down because it was like you don't stream enough. That's why we went to 3 days a week. Because Twitch wanted it. So I'm going to do that this week, and we'll see what happens. I think we'll get it easily. But, sometimes I'm just a stickler for the schedule. I would love for Trevor to be reoccurring. And thanks, Tank. Yeah, thank you. I feel good about the partnership. We tick all the boxes. So there's no reason why. And what I really like about the partnership more than anything else is that you really get a direct person from Twitch assigned to you, which we don't have now. No, he didn't get deep partnership. We never really had it. We have affiliate, which is different. But no, he never got deep partnership. But it's just it's one of those steps that we need to take, and I think on that we would have to probably go. Yeah, we do have a Twitch guy, but he's really high up, Sam. We'd have to probably stream only on Twitch. I think that's part of the terms of service of being a partner. I'm not sure, so that means we'd lose YouTube as a live streaming thing. But I'm not 100%. I gotta read all the terms of service. Oops, sorry about that. Just dropped something. I'm gonna try calling him again real quick, and then I'm gonna sign off. Yeah, probably less negative comments because all the negative stuff comes from YouTube. Very rare that you see a negative Twitch comment. They'll be ornery sometimes. 96 degrees in the pool. Jesus, that's perfect. Hey, I just tried calling you a little while ago. Oh, where were you? Oh, Dump Trash. Okay, cool. I just wanted to say again, really good job tonight. I know that was tricky, bad scenario, but you handled it really well. Did you hear me? Yeah, I know. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, maybe you actually go down to the precinct and we can all talk to them together. But I want to take care of this tomorrow, like tomorrow afternoon. So you're free tomorrow, right? You're not doing anything. Okay, cool. We'll take care of that tomorrow then, because I just want to get that done. I know that's an issue, but we'll see. Hopefully they're open. But anyway, I'll call you tomorrow. I'm gonna get to bed. You get to bed, and we'll talk tomorrow. But I'm really proud of you. That was really good. It was a good, and you were great tonight. You really were. You were great. Yeah, it was. It was a good stream. Yeah, you did. I liked it. See, the sleep schedule works. Yeah, sleep in more. Sleep in tomorrow. Do not call me before I don't know. Oh God. Yeah, just don't call me tomorrow. I'll call you. Just don't call me at all. I'll call you. I know. Don't do it. Don't do it. Sleep late. All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night. Bye. All right. I just wanted to catch him before he. Yeah, trying to get his new sleep schedule is like not waking up like a lunatic at 6 a.m. because that's what he's been doing. So Friday, by the time it's 6 p.m., he's been up since 6 a.m. running around. Maybe he catches like a 20-minute nap, but it's not good enough. And nobody wants to sit there and watch him yawn and do the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know if I can keep the YouTube streaming if we become partners, but I don't think there'll be the buffering on Twitch as much because Streamlabs will only be streaming to one place. Right now, Streamlabs is doing a lot of work. It's taking the main video and it's splitting it into two different streams, plus it's recording an archive for me. So I think Twitch will be a little better. I hope so, at least. But yeah, if the partnership terms of service means you can only stream exclusively on Twitch, that's what's going to happen. I know YouTube doesn't do as well. It's just doesn't. And also, like the comments on YouTube, it's like people that comment on YouTube. It's like, Twitch is where it's at. That's the hub of where everybody is. I feel if you're only on YouTube, you're only seeing the comments on YouTube. You're not really, unless you see the stuff on the screen, obviously. But you're not. I feel like the real game is in the Twitch ecosystem. Do I worry about partnership and content censorship? Not really. Not as much as I used to be. I think he's pretty good. I mean, there's worse things on Twitch as far as like language goes and stuff. But no, I think he's cool. I think it'll be alright. Who knows? Who knows? And we have backup plans if Twitch ever goes away. So channel's not going to go anywhere. But yeah, I mean, Twitch is the main nexus of the channel. Barry's becoming good for the whole family. I doubt that. But when can we get Perry a hot tub stream? When Perry has a hot tub at his place that works, but somebody said that we can use their hot tub. I almost had him come to my hotel and use that one just to get it over with, but there were so many things going on. Yeah, we got to get a shop vac emoji. I'll work on that. There's so many once I get this move out of the way, and I've got a couple of things. I've had a lot of things on my plate the past like 2 months specifically, like personal things and work things, and then this move. Once I get the move out of the way, I'll be able to catch up on a lot of shit that's on my plate with PCL stuff. So that'll be good. Including merch and shit, like just everything. Yeah, I'm staying in Westbury, John. I'm moving like 15 minutes away. I'm moving from an apartment to a house. So I'm staying. It's in basically the same area, a little different. I'm actually a little bit towards East Meadow. I'm basically gone from one end of Eisenhower Park to the other. Very few people would know what I'm talking about. But yeah, staying on Long Island. And as I said, I have to. I wouldn't stay on Long Island if it wasn't for my parents. But my parents my parents are here, so I got to be here. And if that one day isn't the case, I'd like to get out of New York. Better deep dish pizza there. I've never come across a place that has deep dish pizza. That wasn't Pizzeria Uno, the chain, and I don't know any of those anymore where they are. Yeah, I like Long Island too, and I went through a phase where I hated Long Island because I grew up in Brooklyn, and then I moved to Long Island when I was about 14, and it's such a weird age to move, and going from being like a kind of a city kid to like the suburbs in a way. Even though Long Island is pretty cool, parts of it are cool. Suburban, it's like suburban hybrid. It's like you get mix of Queens and a lot of options. Things open late. You do get a city like flair when you're in the periphery of New York City, and then you're also like 40 minutes away from the city. So I like it a lot more than I did as a kid. If my 16-year-old self could see me now, that he'd be ashamed, because my 16-year-old self couldn't get further away from Long Island. So the fact that I live here now is a bit ridiculous. You love when I rip Chicago pizza. Well, I legitimately think it's disgusting. I'm not putting that on. I think Chicago pizza is fucking disgusting. What I think of Lux Maximus, remind me what that is? Oh, the clip. Yeah, I don't know. Like I couldn't make heads or tails of it. First of all, why was that's the video? Why was the guy whispering? Was it there's somebody? Does he live with like a bunch of roommates or something, or was his mother in the other room? Or very creepy vibe. I would not want to mess with that guy. That's the video in the Discord, right? Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, I was creeped out by listening to it. Oh, by the way, everybody who was on, he's alone. Oh, that's so weird. Everybody who told me not to listen to the Grizzly Man death audio, I'll have you know that I did not, and I've decided not to. So I had it pulled up, and I didn't play it. So to the people that were around on Friday, most people who heard it say don't listen to it, and I took your advice. I didn't listen to it because in my mind I imagined what it would be, and I didn't want to hear it. I don't want to hear somebody being brutally murdered, or because I can imagine the kind of screams that I would make. Now yours says change his mind. You change your mind. Yeah, I think I stick to it because I would imagine there's stuff that sticks with you in a bad way, and I don't want that. Like in the moment of death, like people screaming for their mommy, and as silly as that sounds, it kind of really chills me to the core. Because you can almost imagine that. There was that Sopranos episode, I think it's season 2, where the guy, I forget his name, the guy who played the guy who was in A Bronx Tale, that Tony I was gonna say Tony the Tiger, Tony Soprano and Big Pussy shoot because he they took a hit at Christopher, very early Sopranos. But I remember that scene, and he's like, he thinks when he knows he's gonna get killed, and he's pissing his pants, and he screams for his mommy. And I remember that scene always stuck with me, because I was like, man, that might be what I say if I'm ever faced with that. You just regress to that, somebody to help you when you can't be helped. But so suffice to say, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear a guy, and I don't know if it's fake or not. Yeah, the Bevel Aqua kid, that was it. When they were in that beverage place, and he's drinking the warm diet soda. Like that's the one death in The Sopranos that stays with me. Not what's her name, Christopher's girlfriend. I haven't seen the show since it aired, but none of the other deaths really stay with me as anything significant. But that one, for whatever reason, that one gets me. Like whenever I think about it, I get choked up. Yeah, and it wasn't even like a Diet Coke. It was like Shasta or something like that. And he was like, "Can I have a soda?" Tony gives him the soda. And he's like, is that okay? He's like, yeah, that's okay. And then I think Tony says, good, because that's the last fucking drink you're ever going to have. And right at that moment, he's just, ugh, it's rough. Even though he made bad decisions and he did bad things and everything, in that moment when you're faced with death, it's just, what do? You regress to being a child, and he calls out for his mother. I don't know. It's very good writing in that episode. For some reason, that episode is, God, how old is that now? I think that season was 2000 maybe, so it's over 20 years old, and it still stays with me. Wait, Robert, you say that Hope It Wasn't Real, so you listened to it? Did you listen to it the other night? Fuck. You never saw Sopranos? Yeah, Sopranos is worth watching. I don't know how well it ages, because I haven't seen it since its first run. I've never revisited it. It probably plays fine, It has its ups and downs. I remember, but it's, yeah. If you guys feel free to listen to it. You fucking listen. Oh wow, I'm gonna have to call. I'm gonna end this, and then I'm gonna call you. Oh my God, you said you wish you hadn't. Jesus, it's got to be so bad. I'm so curious to hear it, but I will not hear it. I will not listen to it. Yeah, the stripper that Ralphie murdered behind it was just that was a nasty scene, but I don't know, it didn't get me in the same way. And maybe there's other deaths from that show that I'm not thinking of, but yeah. A couple of people said don't listen to it. And I just, it's funny, when I signed off the other morning, and I do say, and it was morning, the sun was out. I went to the bathroom, I peed, washed my face, brushed my teeth, and I had a bowl of cereal, and I was just decompressing a little before I went to bed, and I put on YouTube, and I was watching some guy review speakers and like some audiophile thing, and then I had it on my phone, and I was like, oh, maybe I should listen. I was like, there's no way I want to listen to that before bed, number one. And number two, I just don't want to be haunted by it. Clutch Canuck, yeah, I think there's a fake version, but there's also a real version. There's a real version on there. That's what they said, at least. I'm not an authority on it. I didn't even know it existed until the other night. I thought they had erased it, and then Hero cleared me up on it. And if you don't know what we're talking about the Grizzly Man documentary where the guy dies at the end. It's not shown or heard in the film. Oh, the ones on YouTube are recreations of the transcript. They're not the real audio. So is there a real version on YouTube? See, if Robert's saying that the screams are that chilling, how could that possibly be from a video game? I almost want to see Grizzly Man again now. I haven't seen it since it came out, like in 2006. Right, they said that. They said the audio was destroyed, but then Hero said the other night that they didn't destroy it. And I go a long way on him because he knows this shit. Yeah, I actually got in a documentary mood after we talked about documentaries. I figured because documentaries is really the only thing I want to watch right now. I don't have the attention span to watch any drama shows. I even tried to watch Cobra Kai. Like I never saw the last season, season 3. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I gotta wait. Hero says, I think the authorities invented the fake clip story just to dissuade others from listening. There's no way that shit was fake. That's kind of the impression I get just from listening to people talk about how brutal it is. Oh, Defiant P. So you watched it again. Did it work a second time? Because it's weird, like knowing. I mean, I went into the first time when I first saw it when it first came out, knowing what happens in real life. But after seeing it, playing through, I didn't ever have any desire to watch it again. But now after talking about it, I kind of do. Yeah, I like Cobra Kai too. I really like Cobra Kai. In fact, Cobra Kai makes me wish that the two guys that show run Cobra Kai. I wish they were in charge of everything from that's had a rebirth, including Star Wars or anything, because it's like they respect the property so much. I love the reverence for forgetting about the show itself. I just love the reverence for the source material, and the characters. See, I thought season 2 was mad. If you say season 3 was mad, that's disappointing because I wasn't into season 2. I thought it was a little too jokey. I didn't like the playing for laughs stuff. I hated some of the Cobra Kai stuff because got a little too cartoony for me. But I love season 1. Had a great balance to it. And I started watching season 3, and I just couldn't focus on it because there's just so many things on my mind. Dear Zachary, what's that? Lost Media Archive says any online stuff is fake. Well, this is a good debate. Yeah, searching for Sugarman is good. It'll make me rage. What, season 3, or the documentary? Season 3 of Cobra Kai doesn't take much to make me rage. Trust me, when it comes to that stuff. I'm trying to put together a media room for the new place, and it's just, it's just become this daunting task that I don't know if number one, I don't know if I could afford it, and number two, like, I don't know if I'll ever have time to enjoy it. But I recently, I have these speakers that are like my dream speakers, but I never had an amp that could really drive them well. So I've been looking at that and like trying to price all this stuff. And I was like, oh, well then I want to get like home theater stuff and get a big TV. And the more I do the math, I'm like, there's no fucking way I can afford this. But maybe in a year or so when I have everything set up, I can start watching movies and stuff again. Because right now I hate the TV I have. I just can't stand it. I can't wait to get rid of it. It's like a TV that was bought on like Amazon Prime Day, and it's like got Amazon Fire built in, and it's so glitchy and annoying. That's why I pretty much only watch YouTube. Yeah, I did see Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia a long time ago. That was really good. I did see that. Think twice. Yeah, Robert ordered. Robert ordered a fucking giant LG 86-inch TV, right? And two of them came cracked. He finally got the third one delivered, and it was uncracked. Did you get it mounted yet? I would like to see pictures when you get it mounted. I would actually hire somebody to do that. I don't trust myself mounting the TV. But I want to do like I really want to do it right. Like I want to get the wall. I want to get an outlet on the wall and get it recessed with like an internet cable, Ethernet. I don't want any wires hanging down. So it's like so the more I think about what I want, it's just more and more out of reach price wise. Yeah, projection I thought about, but there's so much light in the room. Like there's a window and there's these sliding doors. Yeah, what I should probably do is get like a consultant that does this for real. Like go in there because I got to get the room treated too for sound. It's very boomy right now. And I got these speakers that are way too big for the room, but what the fuck am I going to do? Speakers have been in storage for so long. But that's another story. Yeah, I'd love to do that, like a viewing party on Discord, because Discord's really easy to do. Yeah, we should do that. We should do a viewing party on Discord. Maybe even invite Perry. I think it's a great idea. Like a cool documentary or something like that, and we can all like talk about it. I think it's a great idea. I'll look into project. I wasn't thinking about projectors. I was thinking about because Sony came out with that new OLED TV. I've always wanted an OLED TV, but this one seems like perfected. So I was looking at that, but yeah, maybe I don't know. See, if it was just me, it would be fine. But like, are other people going to be able to figure out how to use the projector? These are things I got to think about. An outside projector would be cool. I just don't want to piss off neighbors, and the neighbors are already going to hate me because I'm going to be doing the streams with the windows open. I did see some 4K projector somewhere. I think at Best Buy not too long ago, like the Magnolia department, which is like the high-end stuff. And it did look really good because I still think of projectors like from years ago, like the three colored projectors like from like the 90s that look like shit. Yeah, do you get warning when a bulb burns out in the projector? Like, or are you watching like Avengers Endgame and all of a sudden the bulb goes out and you're fucked? Like, does it give you a warning? Like this bulb has X amount of hours left, like battery, because that would blow. Like all of a sudden, like your thing goes out. But yeah, it's funny. It's such a rabbit hole with all this stuff because I have the curse of being an audiophile, so I'm doing all this audio stuff, and then adding the video stuff to it. It's just, geez, I have to take out a loan. Like I just can't. I'll have to borrow money from Perry eventually. He'll still be making more money than me. Perry, can I kindly ask you for $8,000 for this new amp DAC combo that I desperately need for my audio system? Please, kindly. Thank you. I wanted to see They Shall Not Grow Old when it was in the theaters, and I never made it. I was actually going to take my dad, and we never made it. I'd like to see that. I keep forgetting about it. What's the number one artist or band still around that would be your number one on your bucket list to see live? Okay, I think everyone can answer that. For me, I mentioned it before. It'd be the Rolling Stones. I've never seen the Rolling Stones. And last time they came around, not that they came around, but they did 2 nights at Giant Stadium, which is New Jersey, a pain in the ass to get to. And I was playing it by ear. I was like, maybe I'll go like the day of or something like that if there's some kind of deal on like StubHub or TickPick. But man, there was not. They were just crazy prices. But I think they're worth it, and I think I'd have to pony up for them next time they come around. I really do. I am also curious to see Guns N' Roses. Like lately, like the past few years, and I had seen Guns N' Roses back in like 91, 92. I saw them twice, but I'd like to see them now. Yeah, not that they're my favorite, they're not, but I would kind of like maybe to see them. I can't think of anybody else though. Everybody else is kind of, unless I'm not thinking of a big one. The Logitech G560, is that a computer monitor, Joey? You don't have external speakers? Yeah. By the way, Joe Weed, you just got off work. Can't wait to see you in Credenza level. I was having an issue uploading to Credenza. the other day because some stupid thing with like Patreon where it's like you have to get this authorization from Vimeo, and it was like frozen on that. I clicked authorize. I shouldn't have to because it was already automatic, but I don't know. It wasn't about my bandwidth on Vimeo because I pay like a crazy amount of money for the storage we use on Patreon. Like half the money we make on Patreon goes to Vimeo. It's like because of the bandwidth now. So I've only used 17% of the bandwidth. That's not it. It was some other issue. But then I just linked it to speaker. You have LG speaker. I didn't know LG made speakers. So now I just link for this one, the one before, and this one. I'll just link it to YouTube. So it'll be like a private YouTube link, and that should be a thing. Tom, you need to start your own stream to make your own tips for after hours. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I thought about that. Maybe. Because it would be weird to go live on Perry Caravello Live and then it's just me. Maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I have one. We'll see. It's easier to stay on here, to be honest. And I'm not like... You guys are so cool. I don't want to... I don't want to ask anybody for tips. I feel really. I felt terrible about even the GoFundMe. Not terrible. I felt amazing, but you know what I mean. It's hard to accept help. Have you seen Guns N' Roses recently, Hero? Past? Yeah, I mean, I know they're older and stuff, but whatever. Elton John. How about Jinx? Robert Durst? No. I would see Alice Cooper. I would see Alice Cooper if he was in town. I would see Alice Cooper. Yeah, Joey, with the speakers, I have these old Klipsch speakers that have worked great for years. I think I've had them for like 10 years, but I think I'm going to upgrade. I think I'm going to upgrade the speakers. But again, it gets down to budget. I have these ideas of like building this like studio because I do voiceover work too, and I wanted a studio for that and then do this at the same time. And it's just the more I price it out, it's just like Jesus Christ, you're gonna be in debt for the rest of your life. But maybe I'll figure something out. Maybe we'll switch over to another channel for after hours. I don't know. I'll have a camera and everything set up. We'll do that. But maybe I don't know if a lot of people would make the transition. Like this is interesting because you keep a lot of the audience. I don't know if I cut this off and like, okay, I'm going live on this channel. Would you guys? I mean, you guys would, but I don't know if everybody else. And by the way, like I say, you guys, like there's only like a certain amount of people are like contribute to the chat, and then there's a whole other segment that just never says anything. They never say a thing. And I noticed that like on the live streams, like there's people that hit me up like, hey, I never comment or anything, but I wish more people would participate. I noticed that in the Facebook group too. Like so many people like join in. There's only like X amount of people that regularly contribute, and I don't know if it's just. Tom, you should steal Perry's tips like Amy stole money. Well, I write down the tips for TomB. I don't think right now. And I'll say this to you guys, I won't say this elsewhere, but right now, a lot of the money that's generated is going to Perry's cousin, who footed a lot of bills, or helped me foot a lot of bills, and I had promised him a long time ago that he'd be paid back first, and it's taken a long time, but I want to get that taken care of. Raid my channel after hours? Yeah, we could do that. Okay, cool. George's always listening. Yeah, I just noticed a ton of people and maybe it's just a thing like people just like to hang back. There's things that I listen to, and I never contribute anything to I never listen live. Like Red Bar, for example, I never listen live. It's funny. I'm always like about 3 or sometimes 4 episodes behind because they're so long. They're like 8-hour shows, and I finally caught up today because I listened on the way back from California, and I got to listen to a bit yesterday, and I was like, man, if I'm caught up, something must be wrong. Yeah, Robert, post whatever you have. Yeah, load up your posts. Post them on YouTube, in the Facebook group. Yeah, because Robert has some great alternate footage. He shot it vertically, which you get a demerit for that, but it's great footage. Yeah, go for it. Absolutely. We were watching it on we were watching it on his computer the other day, and it was funny. It was funny seeing it from that angle. The like basically from Perry's kitchen when we were firing stuff out of the shop vac. It's great to see the alternate, and the video looks great. So yeah, please post that. Had to leave the stream. Just caught up on the swatting thing. Holy fuck! Proud of Perry. And assumed Tom was over here. Yeah, I was in Perry's ear, thankfully. It's a good thing I got. It's funny. I didn't think of this until just now, but we didn't have the earpiece in at all on Friday or Wednesday. And I thought like, oh, maybe that's over with. Maybe we don't need that anymore. Because it's very rare that we actually. I mean, I use it for audio sometimes. Although now, the Ring camera, the way I have it set up, I could hear the audio from the Ring on the stream. I got to work out the video portion, but I was trying to think of like, oh, do I really need the earpiece anymore? It's kind of more of a nuisance than anything else. But then when we're talking tonight, there is a thing where the crosstalk gets covered up and he can't hear me. So that was a reason for it. I was like, okay, put it back in, because he was talking over me kind of relentlessly tonight. And I'm really glad I did, because otherwise I'd be sending him to that door by himself. And I was able to be in his ear. I was talking him through it. I was telling him what to say. I was, basically talking to the officers through him. And it was super helpful. So I think that's a vote for the earpiece to stay. Yeah, Garrett's point of view stuff was good. Yeah. That was good stuff. There's a lot. It's always interesting to see the alternate shots, especially the stuff that he shoots. And that's why I wanted to do the live camera today, the live camera angle, when he was in the kitchen doing the blender thing, because I knew that was going to take a long time, and I didn't want our view to be just like, staring at the microwave with him behind the kitchen. I was like, all right, let's just make this work. And I think it worked. I think it worked okay, for in the moment stuff where, I had a completely do that. You saw Sonic Youth right before they broke up. When was that? What year did they break up? Because I saw them super I can't say. I was really young when I first saw them. I saw them in 90 and 91 and 92, and I think I saw them once in 94. I was really into Sonic Youth, and then it kind of fell off with them. And I think Thurston Moore's kind of an asshole. And I've seen Kim solo a couple of times. But now you got me thinking about it. Yeah, it's funny. I thought about I thought there's a couple, like Genesis is touring, and I never really liked Genesis. But then when I think about it, like, well, I do like a lot of their songs. But man, they are really cashing in on that fucking tour. Like the cheap seats are like $1,000, at least for New York. So I don't think that's gonna happen, and they're not really on my list as like, oh, I have to see them. It would be the kind of thing where I'd wear like a hat and like a fake mustache and glasses, just in case anybody recognized me, like a friend of mine, like, oh, you like Genesis? No, you've got me confused with somebody else. Yeah, I'll tell you. Well, let me see. Hang on. Let me see something here. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. Yeah, I try to have a preference for new callers, and sometimes I don't recognize the number until the call comes in. But I think Wes Most is always good, and he actually pays for the privilege, so You know, how can I say no to that? But I understand what you're saying. Yeah, but it's all about the people that you know, a lot of people don't come forward. You know, like that's again with the lurker thing. You know, some people just don't want to be called. You know, they don't. The people that put their number forth are, you know, and I try to get as many as I can. But oh fuck you! It's making me verify. Hold on, motherfucker. Ah shit! I can't do it. Sorry. I was trying to load in the ring footage from the swatting, but let me try again. Because if it's just you guys, right? Don't. By the way, don't clip this. If I play this, please to the people that clip or screen record, don't share this anywhere. If I'm able to pull this off, like let's be on the honor system. I don't want this. I don't want this out there. You know, before getting approved. But you know, for you guys, I want to see if I can show it. But just be on the honor system that don't clip this. If I can get it done, I can't promise I can, because this right now it's giving me a hard time. No, that's not it. I gotta get a different solution than fucking Ring. They just suck ass lately. Yeah, sure. Throw out. Yeah, let's get new people. Throw out your number. All you got to do is be. All you have to be is a subscriber. It's the only prerequisite. A subscriber on Twitch, not YouTube. Okay. Fuck. I missed that. Sorry, I'm trying to do this here. Oh, why is it not recognized? Oh, this fucking thing, man. This fucking Ring. I hate Ring. It's not letting me log in because it's saying it's not recognizing the browser. Sorry. How much would I have to pay for him to have an edible? I wouldn't want him to have. I don't know how he would react to an edible. I don't want to go down that road. Who knows? The YouTube chat gets through for me because there's a selection in Streamlabs where I can collect. It's just you can go just the Twitch chat, which I had for a long time, and then I figured out I can click on multi-stream, and then I basically that combines YouTube. So yeah, the YouTube gets through on the main chat, but I feel like you are missing out if you're just on if you are on just YouTube. Yeah, Twitch is always going to be the main hub. If you're just on YouTube, you're probably missing out. Was that at the picnic, Hero, when he had that pot cookie, like that chick that came with the cookies, and then and I forget. I think I gave a cookie to Perry, and I didn't realize it was laced until like he was halfway through with it. But yeah, he just kind of got zonked out. I don't know if there's a way to background Twitch on your phone. I wish there was. That's one thing that YouTube has over Twitch. Well, many things. I'm trying to import this fucking footage. It's giving me a hard time. Fucking thing. Yeah, I did that. Control. Did he think I was talking about Joey Diaz, or who was the other Joe? Who was that other loser? Joe Matarese. I don't know. He hasn't had a Joe Matarese comment in a while. Maybe that's out of his brain. Where'd we get this outro? Yeah, it's just in one of the, like, deep in the themes that you could choose from in Streamlabs. And Scott, the guy who does all the back end, put it together. Because we were doing different, for a while, we were doing different themes for a long time. Like, different theme a month. Like, we did a special Valentine's Day theme, and, like, when it was, when the streams were more random, and then we landed on this, and it just seems so on brand, and we just kept it. It's just I like it a lot, and I like when the music plays and the whole thing. Joe Matarese has you blocked in this Facebook group. Oh, I'm still in there. I mean, I haven't said anything. What a fucking pussy. And didn't he promise, like, to call into Red Bar, like, on his Twitter, and then he never did? He's such a loser. I kind of feel sorry for Joe Matarese. Like, there's something about him where it's just like, again, he's like a hybrid, not hybrid, he's like a higher functioning Perry in a way, where he thinks he's, and I've seen his stand. I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen, like, videos of his stand up. It's awful. I mean, that's not saying anything. All stand up is awful, pretty much. But how he thinks he can do this for a living. That's a great question, Judy. If I go to bed, wake up in the morning, trapped in Perry's body, and he's in mine, how would I react? First of all, my first thought would be, I wake up in his body and then realize that he's in mine, and immediately worry about what he's doing to my body. That would be my first thing. Obviously be horrified of the situation, but I'd be like, hey, you better not be doing anything weird. I always like the whole body swapping thing, and, like, movies or TV. There was this great, no, I shouldn't say great. There's this terrible show from the 70s that never went anywhere. But I've seen it on YouTube. I'm obsessed with, like, failed sitcoms from, the 70s and 80s, but the 70s in particular. And, God. I'm trying to think of the name of this show now before I start talking about it. It's this show starring. It was a sitcom called. It was called Turnabout. That's what it was called. John Schuck. I don't know if you would know him, but he's a very big character actor in like the 70s, 80s, 90s even. Been in a ton of TV shows. If you look, he played Fred Munster in the Munsters Today. Which was the Munsters reboot in like the 80s. Anyway, it was called Turnabout, and it was about a husband and wife that they go thrift shopping. The pilot episode is on YouTube. It's worth watching. It's a very interesting pilot episode, and it's got one of those stupid like animated intros. So anyway, they find some like lamp, or I forget what it is. It was some weird statue or something like that. That they find at like a thrift shop or something like that. And then they both get home, they have an argument, and they touch it at the same time. And they switch bodies. That's the whole show. The whole show, they switch bodies, and then the rest of the show, the guy's in the wife's body, the wife's in the guy's body, and it's every episode is, they got to go to work as each other, and they got to figure it out. He was actually, he played Murray the cop on The New Odd Couple. That's right. And he's also in Different Strokes. He plays a slow adult in one of the later seasons of Different Strokes. He's in a lot of stuff. Anyway, it's called Turnabout, and it's just one of those shows. It's like the Paul Lynde Show. It's another sitcom I watch on YouTube sometimes because it's just a completely. There's only one season. It's never anywhere. You never see it anywhere. But anyway, as far as body swapping things, it's if you're into that, which I oddly am, it's one of those genres that I'm fascinated by. It's worth watching. It's so stupid. But it's interesting to see the woman. Was it Sharon Glass? I forget who played his wife. I gotta look that up. Sharon Glass. I was fucking right. Wow. Goddamn. I am good with that. I forget how many episodes it ran for, but it's worth looking on YouTube if you're into really shitty failed comedies. It's not that shitty. Some of it's good, but it's worth checking out. Turnabout with John Schuck and Sharon Glass. They switch bodies, husband and wife. And there's no resolution, unfortunately, because the show got canceled pretty early on, so you never really found out if they ever got back together. 7 episodes. Wow, it's less than I thought. That's another thing. If I was like a billionaire, I would film that. I would film a finale like right now. I would do Turnabout. Okay, Sharon Glass still alive, John Schuck's still alive. They're like old. I'm like, yeah, let's do Turnabout's episode 8, where you guys all this time you've still been in the other body and they've probably given up by now. But yeah, let's resolve that. Let's do a 90-minute made-for-TV movie. And I would just waste my money on that and like pay them whatever they want. That's what I fantasize about. If I have like unlimited wealth, I would just resurrect series, like shit series, and make sequels to bad movies. Like, yeah, just bring out Weekend at Bernie's 3, 4, and 5, and Turnabout. Actually, just let's do another season. Why not? Yeah, Kent Linklater direct it. But yeah, that's a great question, Judy. You missed the whole stream, Jersey Card Army. Wow, you missed some stuff. The past couple of streams, people can say like, yeah, he didn't really miss much. He was low energy, or he didn't really miss much on Wednesday. It was kind of like, whatever. It was a quick stream. You missed a lot tonight. I won't get into detail, but you missed a lot tonight. Joe Matarese blocked Hero for criticizing his post topics, yet he didn't unfriend you. I'm not friends with him at all. I very rarely send a friend request to anybody. He blamed it on a Rogan Min. What a fucking loser. Ugh. Not Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap's one of my favorite shows. Do I think Perry will be lonely / single for the rest of his life? He acts so committed to all these fake celebrities. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I know, man, Rob. Can you? It would take a Herculean effort. I really am impressed by the the Clippers, like the clip channel, like there's like dedicated clip channels to Perry Caravello Live now, and they come up with some great compilations that I don't know, like I'd have to take such detailed notes to get all the yeah, I would, if somebody could put together a compilation of all Dizak tip comments, I would fucking watch that all day. 18 again and George Burns. Yeah, that's one of those. There was so many 80s ones. Like 18, there was 18 again. There was Like Father, Like Son with Kurt Cameron and Dudley Moore. That was like 87. There was Vice Versa. I think that was 87 also, or 88, with Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage. There was, of course, Freaky Friday. I think the original and the remake. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I like any later George Burns movies. I talked about Going in Style, which is a 77 or 78 with Art Carney, where they plan a bank heist. I like the Oh God movies. Unironically, I like the Oh God movies, including the third one, Oh God, You Devil. I like that. I just remember seeing them as a kid on like HBO, and I just always liked them. I haven't seen them in years, but yeah, I liked 18 again. I think that might have been Burns' last movie, right? I can't think of him doing a movie after that. But that he was in. Who was the 18-year-old in that? I think it was the guy who played Ferris Bueller in the NBC Ferris Bueller series. I forget his name though. I can picture his face. Yeah, Look Well is great with Adam West. That's one of those shows that you wish made it to series. That's the other thing I'm fascinated by too, is unsold pilots that never went anywhere. There's one with Rodney Dangerfield where he plays like this kid's like dead grandfather that like comes to him as a ghost. I forget the name of it. It's terrible. It's on YouTube as well. It's like I forget the name of it, but like the kid's in like high school or whatever, and I'm just making this up because I know there's a scene like this. He's by his lockers, and like there's a girl he likes that he doesn't like, and then the girl walks away, and then like Rodney appears in the locker, by his lockers, like, "Hey kid, why don't you ask her out? She knows she'd love," and then he's like, "Oh grandpa, what are you doing here?" So it's like the grandpa just like pops up to give this kid advice. Oh wow! I didn't know he was in Radioland Murders. I never saw Radioland Murders. I was really bummed out to hear about Ned Beatty today. I love Ned Beatty. Really, really sad. He's a great actor, great character actor, great actor overall. Even calling him a character actor is kind of insulting. He's a great actor. Loved him in Superman, the movie, as Otis. Great in Deliverance, of course. Just a really good actor. I have all those Fox shows, Mumbles. I have them somewhere in a hard. Yeah, because those were released. Those were traded. They might even be on YouTube, but those were like locked away for a long time. But I have them. I've seen them all. They're okay. They're very different than like the Channel 9 show. But I have all those episodes of the Fox show somewhere on a hard drive. I have like a whole Stern hard drive somewhere. Yeah, very Herman. There was a lot of shows like Herman's Head. Oh, you haven't seen it? Yeah, I'll look for them. If I have them, I'll upload them for you. They're good. They're worth watching. Like for just they're very of their time, like late 80s. Yeah, that's right. I forgot he was in Back to School. He is great in Back to School as the dean. He's great in Rudy. He's great in Rudy as Rudy's dad. He's good in so many. I mean, name a movie he's not good in. I mean, he's probably in some bad movies, but can't say anything he's bad. I don't know. It's funny with unaired pilots. I wish, again, it's if I had the money or whatever. If I owned like Netflix or a streaming service, that's all I would go out for. I would just go all out for buying the rights to unaired pilots and just have a channel streaming, whatever. It could be on demand or streaming. And just show unaired pilots. Like, can you imagine seeing like unaired pilots from the 60s or 70s with probably actors that that for whatever reason didn't sell, and maybe they're really good, maybe they're really bad, but they're just curious anyway. Like, and there's so many pilots. I used to have this book on unaired pilots. It wasn't really a book. It was like somebody put it together on the internet and then like printed it out and sold it somewhere. And so many movies, because I was always fascinated with movies that turned into TV series, whether comedy, drama, whatever, and then TV shows that turned into movies. It's a whole different category. Or TV shows that are inspired by a movie, but they're basically ripoffs. You know what I mean? Like Square Pegs is a ripoff of Fast Times, but they couldn't really say it was Fast Times. But there was so many. I forget how many there were. Like there was so. I was like, I'd love to see this pilot. Here's a pilot from this movie that came out, and it's just like, man, fuck. And they're all sitting somewhere in some vault. There's this show in the early 70s that aired on ABC for 2 seasons called Corner Bar. You know, obviously way before my time, way before probably anybody watching this. But it's called Corner Bar, and it's like a precursor to Cheers, and it takes place in Queens. It's like an Astoria, Queens bar called Grant's Tomb, and it's got a great cast, and it's known, I think I might have said this somewhere, but it's known as the first show ever to have a gay character, like a regular gay character. And it was played by the guy who's the science teacher in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He's also in Ghost. I forget the actor's name, but he's the guy that plays the gay guy. But I've always wanted to see it. I've only seen like stills of it. I had a friend talk about it once and said it was a great show. It was like a Cheers type show. It only lasted 2 seasons, but it's just sitting in some vault somewhere. There's so many shows like that. Gabriel Dell. Yeah, so I'd love to see some of those things. And that's all I would watch. I would just, if you can give me access to unaired pilots and obscure series that haven't seen the light of day anywhere, that's all I would watch. I'll be honest with you. If somebody asked my opinion of the Ernest movies, I've never seen an Ernest movie. And maybe to my detriment. I know they're doing. There's a Kickstarter for a Ernest documentary. Or who's the guy that plays Ernest? Why can't I think of his name? The guy who plays Ernest, the guy who played Ernest, passed away. Somebody's doing a documentary about it, and their reason. I think they met their funding. Teen Angel on ABC from the late 90s, where a friend eats an old burger from under his friend's bed and dies and becomes an angel. I remember that. I remember the show existing. I never saw it. Yeah, Jim Varney. Okay, yeah. There was so many. It's funny. There was a show. If you go back to very early Fox, when Fox first became a network, when you had like the Tracy Ullman show and before The Simpsons, Women in Prison, Mr. President. Like the first run, there was another one like Beans Baxter. Like I don't know. All these things are coming to me. Like when Fox first started, like '87, like fall '87. There was a show called Second Chance, and it starred Matthew Perry, who went on to Friends, but obviously before he went on to Friends. And the Second Chance was about a guy who, in the future, and it was like we've already passed the date that it was. It was like in the 2015, let's say, I'm making that up, maybe 2012. The guy gets into a car accident and dies and goes to heaven, and St. Peter sends him back to guide his younger self, who's Matthew Perry, and he lives as a boarder, and like with the mother. And the mother, I think, is the mother from the Karate Kid. I think. Anyway, it's so it's called Second Chance, and they had a whole theme song and everything. And I think it lasted for a little while, maybe like I'm making this up, but it feels like 10 or 12 episodes, and then they revamped the show because Matthew Perry and his friends were kind of popular with the audiences, but the whole Second Chance stuff wasn't and they just revamped it. They just changed the name of the show to Boys Will Be Boys. And then all of a sudden it was like they forgot about the whole sending the dead guy back or whatever. All that shit was gone, and they never mentioned it again. And then it was just like Matthew Perry and his friends. But it was weird when I would watch it, Boys Will Be Boys. I was like, no, what happened to? I kind of liked the cheesiness of the older guy talking to his younger self because it was really corny and stupid. And now it was just a bunch of like dumb kids hanging out. That's my Bush eight episodes. Yeah. Certain somebody worked on that show. Tony B, Mole's manager, worked on that show. That's my bush. I wonder if there's more unaired pilots. I looked at unaired pilots on YouTube, and it was disappointing. Like, there was an ABC show done in like the '90s, and it was like a showcase of unaired pilots, which is interesting, but it was so cheesy. But it just drives you crazy because all they do is show you clips of unaired pilots, but they don't show you the actual shows. Yeah, Yergi worked. Yergi worked on that show too. That's my bush. I never saw it. But yeah, it drives me crazy how many things are just sitting in vaults. Even Amos and Andy, which we talked about, is really one of the funniest shows ever made, and it's been labeled as like racist or whatever, but it's such nonsense. You can see them all on YouTube, but they're not that good. They're like film transfers that were done in probably the '80s and then converted to VHS and then digitized. So you got to go through a lot of shit. But they're really worth watching if you go on YouTube. I didn't even know they did more than one season of Joe Schmo. I only saw that first season. I don't think they could do a show like that anymore. Yeah, I think Tom is directing and doing stuff. Ooh, South of Sunset sounds really familiar, but I can't picture it. Like, did they shelved the entire series? Like, they filmed multiple episodes and just shelved it? That's crazy. I don't get that. Like, yeah, we talk about Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles has a TV series with Louis Gossett Jr. that has like 3 seasons in full, and I think only the pilot's ever been shown on like a DVD as like a bonus feature. But they're just, and they're bad. They were deliberately made bad, but I would still love to see that. That's the shit we should watch in Discord. On-aired pilots. Oh, you know what I found? Oh shit. I forgot about this. It made me think of when we were talking about like really bad. There was a. Oh shit! Why can't I think of it now? There was another made-for-TV sequel that I saw pop up that I had never heard of before, similar to the Jerk 2, TOO, and this was called 2 TOO. Now it's out of my brain completely. Where did I fucking see that? It's made for TV. Do I still have? I remember looking it up on IMDb. Do I still have it in my search? Maybe I do. Let's see. Oh, Splash 2. They made a Splash 2 in 1988, and Amy Yazbek played Madison the mermaid. I never heard of it, and it was just made for TV. And it got apparently really terrible reviews, but of course it made me want to see it. So it's like a sequel to Splash, the Tom Hanks, Daryl Hannah movie, made for TV. Never heard of it before, and I'm usually really keen on those things. Just completely missed it. But that might be on YouTube too. I never saw American Psycho 2. Isn't that with a woman? Last time I mentioned Knowing Her, Big Time in Hollywood, Florida is one of the funniest shows in the past decade by far. Produced by Ben Stiller, only lasted 1 season. It was on Comedy Central. Yeah, I never heard of that either. Oh, it's a YouTube channel called Fouled. Oh, I'm gonna copy that. That's interesting. Oh, wow. Look at this. Okay. I'm just looking at it right now. Fuck. Oh, my God. Turner and Hooch. I think I've seen this one. Turner and Hooch, unsold pilot. Okay, this is an instant subscribe for me. Wait, am I in the right YouTube account? Yeah. Holy fuck. Look at this stuff. Adventures in Babysitting, unsold pilot, 1989. Super Nerds, 2000 on it. 2000 gets, I'm a little less interested in that. There's cartoons. Wow. This is a great find, Hero. This is great. There's a show called The Popcorn Kid. The Popcorn Kid, unsold pilot. Year undetermined, but it looks like early 80s. Area 57, unsold pilot, 2003. Oh my God, I am just all. I mean, I want to end the stream just so I could watch these. Steel Magnolias, unsold pilot, 1990. Danger Team, 1991, unsold pilot. And you just got to go by these thumbnails. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, CG unsold series. That's interesting. Concept. Art of Being Nick, the unsold pilot, 1987. It looks like Julia Louis-Dreyfus in the thing. Alexander the Great, unsold pilot, 1968. Holy fuck, you might have just discovered like my ultimate rabbit hole here. Oh my God. The Carol Channing Show, unsold pilot, 66. The Michael Richards Show, 2009 pilot. They did do that. It might have been like an earlier pilot. That's an interesting failed series, the Michael Richards Show. I think they tried to make him too Kramer-ish, but it was a pretty good concept for a show where he was like this private detective, but I think they just wanted to Kramerize him. Clerks, unsold pilot, 1995. I've heard about that, never seen it. Coneheads, 1983, unsold pilot. Looks like they have the original voices. That's interesting. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, 2007, unsold pilot. Kung Fu, The Next Generation, unsold pilot. Legally Blonde, who cares? Oh my God, this is so good. Wow. Holy fuck. That is great. What a great find. That's my... Oh, I'm going to watch all these. They made 7 South of Sunset shows and canceled the entire thing after one show aired. That's so weird. They usually burn those off. We got to do that. Okay, so let's do a viewing party in Discord sometime. I don't know when we do it. But we got to pick these shows. We should vote. We should vote for the shows we watch. We should. This is the channel. We should watch these shows. We should watch these. Assuming that you guys are into this thing too. I don't know if I'm the only one that's into this stuff. Maybe I am. Yeah, Michael Richards Show aired. I think this might be an earlier pilot. I think Michael Richards Show had like 8 episodes or something. But I would love. This gets my vote. This gets my vote for shit to watch. And we'll figure out a time, like maybe a Saturday or something like that. Like, I don't know. We'll figure out a time, obviously a non-stream day. And then we'll just like fucking all like link up. We'll get a drink or two. Or if you don't drink, get something else. And we'll just hang out in Discord and watch these things. I got an early vote for. I kind of want to see that Turner and Hooch. It's funny. Robert and I saw this thing Disney put out when I was there, that they're doing a new Turner and Hooch series for Disney Plus, which looks fucking vomit inducing. But this one, since it's 80s, it looks great. But this, man, just going through this channel, wow. I mean, there's so many I would watch. And then maybe there's other channels with different ones. I want to see Puppet Man, 1987. I don't even know what that is. Dr. Paradise. We'd probably want to go for like a half-hour show, like a 23. These are all capped at like 23 minutes. I'm kind of interested in Super Nerds. We should do a vote. Like who... King of the Building, unsold pilot, and I see Richard Lewis is the star. Look Well, of course. I think most of us have seen that, and that's really good. Tickets Please, Unsold Pilot. Fuck. This is so good. Acting Sheriff, 1991. And it's like the mom from The Sopranos. I forget her name. Yeah, I want to see all these. Like, there's very few that I wouldn't click on. B-Men, Unsold Pilot, 1989, and it just by the thumbnail alone, it looks great. It's funny to see the view count too. Like the most views these have. Like one of them has 25K. Oh, that's Clarissa Now with Melissa Joan Hart, and I guess it was a Clarissa Explains It All reboot, but it never went past the pilot. I don't know what it looks like. Maybe early 2000s to me. Veronica's Video, Unsold Pilot from 1990. Shit, yeah. I mean, I gotta stop looking at this because I'll be up here all night. Wow. Yeah, see if there's a poll, and we'll figure it out. Edie Falco, which one is she in? No, not that, not the mom from, not that mom, Tony's mom, the older, Mrs. Soprano, not Edie Falco. I forget her name. The one who passed away, and they did that horrible CGI. Try and make it look like she was still alive. This is a good find, man. That's why Hero's the fucking man with this stuff. He just I wouldn't. I've looked in recent years for this stuff. Let's see. Yeah, Popcorn Kid. We might have to. Just an hour, Perry. We might have to do Popcorn Kid as the first. Yeah. That's cool. So we'll have to set up a good time where it's convenient for everybody. Can't be this week for me. This week's going to be brutal for me. But maybe after this week, we should do that. That's a great idea. Our first viewing thing in the Discord. Maybe it'll drive other people to Discord too that don't normally go, and we'll just do the view. Yeah, because it's not it doesn't have to be Perry related either, right? It could be whatever. Could be whatever. But this is definitely in my wheelhouse. Because this shit is like so obscure. It's like I thought I was an encyclopedia for not nonsense like this, but most of these things I've not heard of. This is this is great. Well, I want to know where this guy who runs this channel found these, because they look like pretty good quality too. They must have been traded at like conventions over the years. Like somebody had them somewhere. Yeah, after Failed Pals, we just do Michael Bay movies and just transition into that. We'll just watch like The Rock and Armageddon. You tried to explain Perry to your brother. How did that go? Steven Seagal. I know, it's funny. I was watching this. I think I talked about watching this Steven Seagal thing on YouTube recently, where it was just like the decline of Steven Seagal, like just how he was weird in the 90s, but just how much more weird he has gotten. And again, one of those YouTube vortexes where it was another separate video that was just about the rivalry between Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme, and all it was interviews with both of them bad mouthing the other, and Van Damme saying how Van Damme always usually takes the high road, but he basically was making fun of Steven Seagal being fat. And Steven Seagal would be interviewed about Jean-Claude Van Damme, saying that he's not a true martial artist, and he could put him down real easily. and he's insulted when people compare their movies. Yeah, there's isn't it? Is it the Munsters? The one with Jerry O'Connell. I shouldn't say anything bad about Jerry O'Connell because his brother donated to the GoFundMe for the computer, so I can't say anything bad about Jerry O'Connell. He's great. I'm sure. I think he's a fan. So fan of the streams, or at least his brother is. But I think that might be the one that aired on NBC. By the way, the pilot, it did air. I think in like 2007, maybe, if that's right. I never saw it. Maybe later than that. Out for Justice is okay. I like Hard Target. No, not Hard Target. Hard to Kill. Hard to Kill. The one where he goes into a coma and comes out. And then Above the Law is really good. And Under Siege is his best movie, I think. I like Under Siege 2 as well. Yeah, Mockingbird Lane, that was the name of it. And now Rob Zombie's doing a new Munsters, which is probably going to be terrible. I remember renting Hard to Kill, and I think I watched it like 4 times before I returned it. I just thought it was so cool. Like Kelly LeBrock when she still looked pretty good. Good revenge movie. And he's good in it. Steven Seagal's like good in it. And the guy, I forget the actor's name, the guy who plays Death in the Bill and Ted's movies, and he's the bad guy in Die Hard 2, William, I can't think of his name. But he's really good in it too. He plays like the corrupt senator. Under Siege is more than decent. That's a very good movie. Try go look up. It's funny. I always look at like old Siskel and Ebert reviews on YouTube. They gave a very good review. William Sadler, thank you. They gave a very good review to Under Siege. Like they're both very enthusiastic about it, which is funny because you wouldn't expect them to, be, but they loved it. And I remember like seeing that review. And sometimes when I watch a really good like Siskel and Ebert review on YouTube, like makes me want to see the movie again. Although I haven't seen Under Siege in quite some time. Yeah, I don't know. Like Rob Zombie is just so bad as a filmmaker. It's just like that. He did that white trash Halloween. I never saw his Halloween too, but that Halloween he did was just god awful. Yeah, they love they like Beavis and Butthead Do America. Yeah. Did anybody see his Halloween 2? I mean, his Halloween 1 is just and it's unfortunate because I thought Malcolm McDowell as Loomis is actually really good casting, but boy was that trash. There's a 2000 Seagal movie called Into the Sun where he's fighting Japanese vampires that I'm dying to see. Yeah, that sounds good. We should do a shitty. We should do a shitty 2000 Seagal movie in the Discord too at some point. Wow, that's hard to imagine that Zombies Halloween 2 is 10 times worse than his first. Oh, man, I almost want to see it just to see how bad it is, but I can't bring myself to see that. No, there's a lot of bad Halloween movies for sure, but you can't even count his two. The what was the last one? Halloween. What was the one with shit? I can't think of it. What was the one that came after H2O? Was it Resurrection? That was really bad. The one that was like the reality show in the house or something. Ugh, I don't even remember it, but I remember it being terrible. Was that the one? Was that Clutch Connect? Was that the one I'm talking about? Resurrection, the one that's after H2O that they kill off Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, so bad. I don't even like H2O. I like Halloween. I like the first Halloween. I like the second Halloween. I don't. In fact, I don't know why the reboot ignored the second Halloween. I thought the second Halloween was good in the hospital. That's good. The third we don't count because it's not Michael Myers, but I think it's overrated in cult status, and I think it's underrated in mainstream status. Halloween 3, and then I like 4 in parts. 4 has a great start, and then it kind of turns into shit. But 5 is it's whatever, and then Halloween 6 is fucking garbage. Any version you see, producer's cut or otherwise. H2O I don't like. Resurrection is shit. I didn't mind the one that came out a couple years ago. It was okay, but it didn't really do anything for me. And what I didn't like about Halloween H2O is that it only came about because of the success of Scream, and it just borrowed from Scream, which I thought was ridiculous. Even the poster. Look at the poster for Halloween H2O. It's the poster for Scream. Yeah, so is it 2018? I couldn't remember if it was 19 or 2018. Yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. But I didn't like that I understand not acknowledging anything past part 2, but why not acknowledge part 2? Like, there was nothing really bad there. I think the only thing that you'd be losing is like making Laurie Michaels' sister, which I didn't think was that big of a deal. But yeah, it was inoffensive. It had some good. The score was good. Like, I remember seeing it in the theater and like hearing the Halloween score, like John Carpenter, like remix was really effective. And there's some good things in it, but it's just I'll be curious to see the next 2. But then end it there, please. Don't do any more. Yeah, I remember buying this. I actually got the soundtrack because I thought it was really good. That was a very effective soundtrack for and I never really get into soundtracks too much these days. Yeah, that's exactly. I think I did the same thing. I think I walked out of the theater and immediately got the soundtrack. I was like, "Yep, this is cool. I want to hear that again." I never saw The Glimmer Man. I think that was out. I don't think I saw a Seagal movie past Under Siege 2. I don't think I ever saw a movie past that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. The fake out thing. And that doctor, like the wannabe Loomis guy, like his whole motivation made no sense to me. It was a terrible. Yeah, it was Carpenter on the soundtrack. I mean, he's credited with the 2008 Halloween theme. Like he at least did that part. Yeah, and his son. Yeah, so they had a big influence in the soundtrack. You could hear it. It was good. Because that's the one thing that I kind of thought sucked about a lot of the Halloween sequels is they didn't have the soundtrack wasn't as effective. Because Carpenter, one thing cool about Carpenter as a director is he does the music too, and it's always kind of like basic and synthy, like the Escape from New York, even Big Trouble in Little China. I love that soundtrack, including his song. Yeah, Vampires, another great soundtrack. But it's one of those few movies where I think the soundtrack to Vampires is better than the movie itself. And I like the movie. I like James Woods in it a lot. But the soundtrack's better than the movie. Yeah, he did tour. There's a great YouTube. There's a good YouTube video of like one of the full concerts where he plays all the songs from. Although the one thing I was bummed out, he didn't do the song from Big Trouble in Little China, like the closing credits song. I forget the song that he actually sings, which is a terrible song, but it'd be cool to hear that live. Yeah, and that's what I like about the Carpenter sound is it is so basic, but it's great. It digs into you. It's like he's got these very memorable themes that kind of reverberate over and over again. And so I really like the. I don't know how much involvement he has with the next 2 Halloween movies, if he has anything to do with the soundtrack, but I hope he does. They did the blowing up the motel sequence in one take. That's crazy. I remember seeing that in the theater. I mean, It could have been better. It was, the vampire movies are hit and miss, but it was kind of badass, and just a great soundtrack. James Woods is another guy too. I know he's like uber political and stuff, but it's a shame that he doesn't get more work because he's so fucking good. Yeah, that's a good point about Ennio Morricone. Like it does sound like Carpenter, and that's a great sound. I mean, all his soundtracks are great. I love his soundtrack to The Untouchable. That's a fair point. How would you blow up a motel in 2 takes? But I guess they got all the footage they needed. Cop is great. You know, it's a great underrated James Woods film. Um, is Diggstown with James Woods and Louis Gossett Jr. And it's got a great cast. Bruce Dern is in it, and it's kind of like a con movie. It deals with boxing in a small town. It's a great movie. If you've never seen Diggstown, 1992, I think it's Heather Graham's first movie as well, and she looks really good in it. Jim Caviezel's first movie as well. He's got a very small part in it, but well worth watching. It's funny, Starman. I always thought Starman was his music. Is that somebody else? I didn't realize that. I just watched Starman like fairly recently, about like 6 months ago. Still holds up. Onion feels good. What's the one? I can't think of the name of the movie. What's the movie with James Woods and Brian Dennehy? Can't think of it off the top of my head. Now I gotta look it up. Oh, he's been in some shit movies. Bestseller. Thank you. Bestseller was the movie I was looking for. Great movie, Bestseller. If you haven't seen Bestseller, see that. Trying to see what else. If I missed anything. He's good in Nixon. Great in Casino. We talked about that. You know, it's an interesting movie. It just came up on his IMDb, and I remember seeing it a long time ago. I haven't seen it. I can't attest to if it's still good. I liked it. I would file it under the term guilty pleasure, and as cringy of a term that is. But a Straight Talk with Dolly Parton and James Woods, which seems like an odd pairing. And Dolly Parton plays like a radio host, and James Woods is the producer. It's very simplistic, but it was fun. Oh, The Hard Way with Michael J. Fox is also pretty good, where Michael J. Fox is like the Hollywood actor that has to be a cop in a movie, so we ride along. He hangs out with James Woods, who's a real cop. That's pretty good. My Name is Bill W. is fantastic, about the guy who created AA. Bestseller. We talk. Cop is great. True Believer, another one that's great, with Robert Downey Jr. Salvador's great. Man, this guy, he's had such a resume. Cat's Eye, of course. His segment in Cat's Eye is amazing. Really, really great stuff. I mean, just, yeah. It's a shame he doesn't get as much. He's great in Every Day's Any Given Sunday as well. It's really... is Michael Madsen in Straight Talk? It's funny. I saw it so long ago that it was before Michael Madsen became a thing, so I would never recommend. I like Once Upon a Time in America, but you got to watch the extended cut, the I think the American theatrical cut is shit. But yeah, why it's too bad that he's just got sidelined for his politics because he's so good. He's so watchable. And he plays good everything. He plays a good douchebag. He plays a good sleazeball. He plays a good asshole. He plays a good badass. He plays a good pussy. He plays everything. Like there's some guys that only play tough guys, that only play one type of guy. He plays everything. He plays everything. Like you could see him as like a mobster type boss. You could see him as like a low life street guy that's like pathetic. You know, like the pimp in Casino. He's kind of like a loser. And then in the next movie, he's like, you know, a badass, and you totally you buy all versions because he's so good. Yeah, I guess he does voiceover now. It's just such bullshit. Some producer should just have the balls to put him in a good movie. Videodrome, I forgot about that. Also very good. I would do that. I would do a James Woods film festival. Yeah, didn't he show off his Porsche collection on Twitter or something like that? I remember seeing it. Like he's a huge and he's a huge poker player too. He had a really good interview on Howard Stern about maybe 15 years ago. One of his few, like, you know, back when Stern was still like edgy and didn't have a lot of A-list guests. Yeah, it was like a get for him, and it was a really, I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, but it's worth seeking out. Yeah, Rutger Hauer dying sucked. What's that movie he did? It was like made for HBO with Mimi Rogers, where he's like a prisoner and they wear that thing around their neck that's attached to somebody else, and if you try to escape, your head blows up. I remember liking that a lot. It was weird that it was a made for HBO movie. Deadlock, I want to say, but I could be wrong. I haven't seen it since it came out like 30 years ago. Ned Ryerson is in it from Groundhog Day. He's like the warden. But Rutger Hauer's really great in it. And I always loved Mimi Rogers because she had enormous breasts. She was just like really unreasonably big for an actress. Blindside, was that it? No, I don't think it. No, it's Blind Fury is the one where he's a blind guy. That's good too, but that's not it. Is it Wedlock? It could be. It's something lock. It's something lock because it's like this futuristic. It's like the Running Man or something where like they wear this thing around their neck and they're prisoners, and you're paired with somebody else, right? So your neck thing is paired to somebody else, some other random prisoner, and they do it so nobody tries to escape. There's no gates or anything like that. But if you try to escape, not only does your head blow up, but some random other person in the prison blows up that you're paired to that you don't know you're paired to. And then the thing of the movie is he finds out who he's paired to, which is Mimi Rogers, and they try to figure out how to escape. It's very good. Yeah, Needle Nose Ned is in. It's Wedlock. Okay, Wedlock. Maybe it's called something different. Let me see. Let me check because I want to say it's Deadlock. Maybe they call it Wedlock somewhere else. Where are you from, Clutch Canuck? Because now I'm super curious, but you could be right. Oh, Wedlock. I see it's called Wedlock. I thought it was called Deadlock for some reason. No, it's called Deadlock. Oh, it's interesting. Okay, it's called Deadlock in America and Wedlock outside of America. That's interesting. Yeah, I just looked it up. Very interesting. There's some things like that where it's like they have different titles internationally. I think fucking Running Man is great, and Richard Dawson makes that movie. I wish there was more Richard Dawson in that movie. I think he's so great as Killian. Hitcher is good, but it's got that brutal ending where the girl is chained up between the two, the truck and the rig. That's a good movie. That's another film festival you could do, is like those road movies where somebody's chasing you in like the desert highway. It's like there's a ton of movies like that. Yeah, hard to believe, Eric, but yeah, Woods did an interview with Stern, and it wasn't about cats or social justice, but he was very honest. He talked about like how like he is with women and stuff, and movies that he did that he liked, movies he did that he didn't like. It's a very good interview, and I want to guess it was around 2007. It could be earlier. It could be 6. It might have been regular radio actually before Sirius, so it could be 2005 or 4. Anyway, if you can dig it up, it's worth listening to. Yeah, they beef up. Yeah, he says the after hours streams beef up your watches. Yeah, me too. I always like take notes sometimes when somebody suggests something. I'm like, oh, I want to see that. I want to see that again. I want to watch that again. Like now, I want to watch The Running Man again. I haven't seen The Running Man in years. I like The Running Man better than Predator, to be honest with you. They came out in the same year. I think Predator came out summer '87. Running Man came out like November '87, and I to me Running Man's the better movie. It's more fun. Yeah, Stuttering John has his own podcast. I wouldn't recommend anybody go run to listen to that though. Yeah, Wedlock or Deadlock. Deadlock is a made-for-HBO movie. It came out around 1991. I remember them promoting it. And then it might have had a theatrical run in Europe or something like that as Wedlock, apparently. I never knew that. But, yeah, in America it was always Deadlock. Deadlock makes more sense as a title. Because it's a play on words. It's a play on wedlock. It's a play on... Because you're deadlocked. Like literally, like this thing around your neck. Anyway, that's another thing I'll suggest. If you're a Rutger Hauer fan, you haven't seen Deadlock or Wedlock, see it. You know, I haven't seen Eraser since it came out, like 96. I remember that being the Arnold movie that I watched that I was like, okay, his run might be over. Like, Last Action Hero was that movie too, and Junior and a couple of, even though you can't count that, but as far as his action movies, Last Action Hero really took him down a peg, and they had the balls, they had the fucking audacity to open up, I think the weekend before Jurassic Park. I mean, good God, stay in your lane, and it was a real miss. And then, but then he came back a year later with True Lies. True Lies was so fucking good. And then you're like, okay, maybe he's back. But then it turns out, I think True Lies is his last great movie of that run he had from like Conan the Barbarian on. I think it's the last great one. It's the last great one. Even though Eraser might have its moments. I like The Sixth Day. It has its moments. But that was it for Arnold. I think True Lies is his swan song. I think, and it's a great movie to go out on, really, to be at the top of your form. What are you gonna do? Retire after that? And Eraser is good. It's good. It's just not of that. It's not of that same caliber. That he had such a great run. I love Commando. Yeah, I mean, Commando's great. Commando's got so many great one-liners. Yeah, Sixth Day is good. It's just not. It's not great. It's good, but it's good. It's very watchable. If you haven't seen Sixth Day, see, I think honestly, Sixth Day is truly his last decent movie. There's nothing he did after Sixth Day that was any good. Why do I like True Lies? Because it's awesome. Bill Paxton is great in it. Fucking Tom Arnold is great in it. I think we talked about that another time. Like who? Like I remember seeing that. Like Tom Arnold. The guy that fucking Roseanne was married to, like he's in, like how did he get in that movie? Yet he's great in it. He's fucking great in it. It's a great movie. True Lies is great. And you know, maybe I don't know if it holds up as well. I haven't seen it in a long time. There could be some deals. You know, it's funny. I never saw Raw Deal. It's one of those movies that just like I never. There's two movies that came out in '88. I think I never saw. I never saw Raw Deal, and I never saw the one with Jim Belushi where he plays the Russian Red something. Red. I forget the name. It came out in '88. I remember when it came out. It came out in '88. Red something. I just never got around to seeing it. Those are the two movies I've never seen in his original run. True Lies sucks. You're crazy. You got to defend that. Why does it suck? You got to tell me why it sucks. Red Heat. That was it. Red Heat. Never saw it. Is Red Heat worth watching? I remember trying to watch Raw Deal on like HBO, like a year after it came out, and I couldn't get through it. Like for whatever reason, it didn't feel like a real Arnold movie. It felt like he was, I don't know, like a hired like a replacement for somebody else. It's just okay. Forgive my friend, he's dead tired. I always like I could say so many. Every death line that he does in Commando is classic. You're a funny guy, Sully. That's why I'm going to kill you last. Remember when I said I'd kill you last? That's right, Matrix. You did say that. I lied. And then it like they don't end it there. He goes over to Ray Dong Chan and she's like, "What you do with Sully?" Like, "I let him go." It's so fucking great. God, I want to watch Commando right now. Fucking great. Every kill in that movie's great. It's so stupid, but it's great. It's a great '80s movie. That's why it's one of those movies like if you can't put anybody else in that movie. You can't put if you take Arnold out of that movie, it doesn't work. Let up some steam, Bennett. Yeah, that's another great one. So stupid. I agree with you about Kindergarten Cop. It's one of those movies that it has no right to be as good as it is. It's like it shouldn't be good, and it's not great, but it's better than like you think it's going to be horrible, and it's not. It's surprising how not horrible it is. There's a lot of movies like that, mainly sequels, where it's like, oh, this movie has no business being as good as it is. And I think Kindergarten Cop falls into that. Not so much the other comedies did. I'm not that huge on Twins. Even Twins has its moments, and then Junior just, terrible. And I never saw Jingle All the Way. I never saw Over the Top either, but I definitely remember that when that came out. The arm wrestling Stallone movie. I remember the song because it was all over MTV. That summer, whenever that came out. I don't think it was a summer movie. I think it came out in the spring. Yeah, the soundboards of Kindergarten Cop have definitely had a longer shelf life than the movie itself. I don't remember Junior at all. I just remember it being terrible. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it on like VHS or something. It was just it was awful. Fucking awful. Yeah, Kenny Loggins, the man. Yeah, and Kenny Loggins. I think he did the theme to Caddyshack 2 the same year, which I think they tried to like recapture like the "I'm All Right" from the original Caddyshack. I think it's called All the Way. You know, there's a Frank Stallone movie that has Sylvester Stallone in it and Andrew Dice Clay in it that never has been released. It's been Top Gun too. It's called The Good Life. If you ever look up The Good Life on IMDb or something like that, it was a Frank Stallone movie with Andrew Dice Clay and a bunch of other people, and it got shelved because they Sylvester Stallone does a cameo in the movie, and one of the caveats for him to have a cameo in the movie was they can't show any footage of him being in the movie for publicity. It has to be a surprise because he was doing Copland at the time, and that was coming out around the same time, and they were his agents, Stallone's agents, were worried because that was like his comeback movie, like, you know, serious Stallone again. He had some stumbles in the '90s, and I think he was coming off that tunnel movie, Daylight, which didn't do him any favors. Anyway, so of course Frank Stallone's movie, The Good Life, whoever the studio was, all they did was immediately released footage of Sylvester Stallone on the golf course. It was a golf movie in Florida or something like that. And they released footage of Stallone, and then Stallone sued them. Sylvester Stallone sued the studio, like into oblivion, for breaching that contract. And then it ended up in, Dennis Hopper's in it too. It ended up being shelved completely, and it's never seen the light of day to this day. A completed movie that's never seen the light of day. All because they broke that agreement with Stallone. That had to be a weird thing between the two brothers, because Frank Stallone. I actually wrote Frank Stallone on Instagram. Not wrote him. I commented on one of his things about a year or so ago, and because he has an interesting Instagram, like he'll be working out, and I just it was one of those things where he had just posted it, so I figured he'd be looking at it, and I wrote like, "Hey, are we ever going to see The Good Life?" And he replied to me. He goes, "I doubt it, sadly." And I felt for him. I was like, that's got to suck. That you had a movie with all these people in it, and that could have been your break, and your brother just completely shit on it. Yeah, David Carradine it's a very interesting cat. I always wanted to see The Good Life, just completely buried. I don't remember Daylight at all. I just remember bits and pieces of it, and it being completely. Oh yeah, Don Barris is in The Good Life. Yeah, he has that's right, because he was opening for Dice at the time. So yeah, he's in the movie. He's well, you never see it, but he's in The Good Life, Frank Stallone movie. Oh, that's a good one, Paul. Glory of Love was supposed to be in Rocky IV, and it went to The Karate Kid, of course. Yeah, good luck trying to see A Good Life. It's just one of these things that just buried. That's a whole subset. Forget about the unaired pilots. That's a whole other subcategory. Are completed movies that have never seen the light of day, that are just buried. That for whatever reason, they ran out of money. The most famous one I think is Jerry Lewis's The Day the Clown Cried, completed movie that's never been seen. But that's a good one. Yeah, Robert, I think the movie where you're talking about, the Arnold movie that came out around 2001, it wasn't that good. It was one in the jungle, Collateral Damage, I think it was, and they shelved it for a little bit when 9/11, but eventually came out. What are some examples of movies that were released and lost? I know there are some, but is there a famous one? Is there a famous movie that came out? Like a famous movie that was released and then lost? You can't imagine that happening, but it's crazy. And they're never as good. Like it's like it's like an unreleased song when you hear a song like by an artist you like, and they release they release like some song like years later, and they're like, I get why they didn't release it. It's always bigger in your head. Sinbad's Kazam. What is that? Sinbad's Kazam. Enlighten me on that. I'm not. You know what I'd like to see? There was that movie that came out a few years ago. About like the shit. I forget what it was now. It was the my mind's blanking. The movie that the last movie that Kevin Spacey completed before he was done in. He played like was it Hearst or Getty, right? And then that shit happened where he got accused of all that stuff. It was supposed to come out like literally within 6 weeks. It was a very short time, and they hired Christopher Plummer to redo all his scenes, and they did it like in fucking an insane amount of time. And then it was released with Christopher Plummer, who just passed away. And I would love to see the movie, just because, it's so weird. I'd like to see the movie with Kevin Spacey. Oh, there's an early Hitchcock movie that's lost? Huh. I love stuff with the Mandela effect. Yeah, I've seen the Island of Dr. Moreau, but the documentary about the Island of Dr. Moreau and how horrible that production was is far more interesting than the movie itself. It's one of those movies where the documentary about the movie is more interesting than the movie. If you seek it out, I forget the name of it, but it's called All the Money in the World. That's the movie. Yeah, I'd like to see All the Money in the World with Kevin Spacey. I forget the name of the documentary, but there's a documentary about the Brando, Val Kilmer, Island of Dr. Moreau. About how the director just went crazy. The director was fired, and literally ran into the jungle, and then would sneak back onto the set and went completely mad. Just the stories from that movie. If you watch the movie, it's amazing how coherent it is. But see the documentary. That'll be a great double feature. I think see the documentary first and then see the movie, The Island of Dr. Moreau, the 1996 version, back to back, and it would be phenomenal. Wow, I've never seen early Hitchcock. 14 movies, all deemed lost pre-1926. That's crazy. Yeah, how do people see these movies? That's a good point. There's reviews of these movies. How do people see them? And how do we get on that list? That's such a great tidbit. Hero. Brando showed up on a set one day with a midget 18 inches tall and insisted that the director write his new friend into the movie. That's so fucking Brando. Fuck. I like some Brando movie. There's a lot of 90s Brando movies I like though. I love The Freshman with Brando and Matthew Broderick. That's one of my favorite movies actually. And I like The Score with Brando, De Niro and Edward Norton. I think that's 99. There's a lot of he did a lot of good stuff. I like Don Juan DeMarco. It wasn't a giant frog in Superman that he suggested. It was a giant bagel. But I think he was being sarcastic because he was getting paid so much money, and he was probably like, "Let me see what I can get away with." I think he was just trying to push the envelope a little bit. No, I've never seen that Werner Herzog song. Score is great. Score is very underrated. Score is a very underrated heist movie. In fact, I would do a good double feature. Watch The Score and then The Heist. Gene Hackman. We talked about that. Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman's probably last good movie. The Heist. The Score and then The Heist back to back would be a good double feature. a rare good late 90s De Niro movie too. What's the Charlie Sheen movie that Brando's in? Well, yeah, like that's the thing. Like Apocalypse Now, wasn't that shot with Harvey Keitel was the Martin Sheen character, and they shot for like a long time, like 6 weeks, right? And then they replaced him with Martin Sheen. Similar to like Eric Stoltz in Back to the Future. Yeah, Gene Hackman in Hoosiers is great. It's funny, Gene Hackman hated that movie when he was filming it. He didn't get along with the director at all. He hated the director, and him and Dennis Hopper like made fun of the movie as they were making it. In fact, there's a scene late in Hoosiers where it's like they're doing a montage of all the wins, and there's a shot of Gene Hackman pointing and laughing towards Dennis Hopper, and it's just in the montage you don't hear what he's saying, but what he's really saying in that scene is, we just made the biggest mistake of our lives, Dennis. Our careers are over after this shit movie. Something to that effect. He was basically lambasting the movie because he hated every minute of it, hated the director, and which is hard to tell by when you see Hoosiers. It's so good, and he's so good in it. It's weird to like watch it with those eyes, knowing that he hated every minute of it and really thought it was a terrible decision. And then the director tells the story. I don't know if it's on the director's commentary or not, but I remember hearing the director talk about it. And he talks about when the movie was completed, and there was he did a private screening at the studio, and Hackman and a couple other people saw the movie. And then after the movie, like Hackman came up to the director, who he hated, by the way, and he came up to him and he goes, "How in the fuck did you pull that off? That's a great movie. We did not make a great movie, but you turned it into a great movie. I don't know how the fuck you pulled it off, but you did." And he walked away. Like, didn't say like I was an asshole, I'm sorry, or anything like that. But I always think it's interesting where like the actor thinks they're in a bad movie and then it turns out great. Yeah, he thought no one would ever see it. That's right. Yeah, he thought he made like, because I think he turned down something else to do Hoosiers, and then I think he regretted it immediately. I forget what the other movie was. No, I didn't see The Rover yet. You think The Freshman is bad? I think it's fantastic. Let me see if I can get that going here. Hold on. I don't have my usual accoutrements. I'll see if I can get this going. Hold on. Fuck. Hold on, sorry.
Oh, did you have to twist
Oh, it's funny. Here you sent this clip. The Rich Eisen show has a ton of stuff that I want. Like, it always comes up in my algorithm. Let me see if I can play this. I don't know if I can, because I had to redo everything in this, so I don't know if this will play. Give me a second here. Will it play? Maybe. Maybe not.
Hackman's arm to do this, or what, David?
Oh boy, that's Rich. That's another show.
Really?
That was one of the most unpleasant experiences of my life, and I think Gene's performance was, I don't know, as close to perfection as one could get. I learned so much from him. That was my first feature film. I had done, Hill Street and St. Elsewhere and Miami Vice and all, but that was my first feature. And to work with someone of that stature, not to mention Barbara and Dennis and all, but Gene was in almost every scene in the movie. And Gene was a bit, let's just say, mildly disagreeable. It was not fun for him. I think Well, I'll tell you, this is really great. There's a scene in the montage when Hickory starts winning.
Yes.
And there's a shot of Dennis Hopper, and the camera's across the floor, and it's shooting toward the Hickory bench. And you see, and you got music going, and you see Hopper and Hackman sitting there, and you see Dennis kind of laugh and slap his leg.
Mm-hmm.
That was a reaction, and I didn't find this out until just a couple of years before Dennis passed. He finally told me. He said, "Don't you know what happened there?" He said, Hackman said to me, "Dennis, I hope you've invested well because we'll never work again after this film." He had no belief in that movie or me at the time. So it was tough, you know. I think
my head is exploding. And so that you can
literally, he said that, and now he admitted that when he travels and stuff, people, of course, Popeye, of course, you know,
Sure.
French Connection, he
Right.
gets, you know, or maybe, you know, Batman, but probably more than anything, it's Norman Dale, you know, or people will yell, "I'll make it, coach," or, you know, whatever. But he was brilliant, but he was really, really difficult. And, part of it was my nerves too, you know.
Sure.
I mean, I was trying to film a movie that I had been dreaming about for nearly 20 years. Angelo and I were trying to make, and the whole thing was very surreal.
David, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful, beautiful. It is my number. I do not stutter, and I've told you this when I met you in person. When I met you personally, I say to you, it is my number. Like, I get this question all the time because of my profession. My favorite sports movie of all time. It's Hoosiers. Period. End of story. And I am just so stunned that that montage where Dennis Hopper's laughing and the shot is a reaction to an off-camera line that Hackman's saying that this movie is going to be the end of our careers.
Never work again.
Oh my God. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right
I can't believe that the director said Batman. Hackman's not known for Batman. He's known for Superman, of course. But I'll forgive him that. Yeah, I must have heard a different variation of that story, because that's pretty much the way I heard it too. It's crazy to think about because I'm not even a. Oh, he did Rudy too. I didn't know he did Rudy. Let's watch Hoosiers right now. Let's put it on. Yeah, I think there'll be some copyright thing, but let's. I don't even give a shit about basketball, college basketball, but that's a great movie. Hoosiers is fucking great. If you've never seen Hoosiers, I don't care if you like sports or not. It's a great movie. It's crazy. It's crazy. You could totally see Hackman being a prick too about that. But yeah, it's one of his best movies. I think it really is. Yeah, let's just watch Hoosiers right now. I want to watch something. This is like my takeaway from tonight is I want to watch. I got to do stuff with Perry tomorrow, but I want to watch Hoosiers. I want to watch The Running Man. I want to watch all those unaired pilots. What was the other thing? Oh, I want to watch some Steven Seagal. Yeah, I think I'm the same as you, Hero. I think the last time I saw Hoosiers, had to be on HBO sometime in the early 90s. I'm going to say probably we're close to 30 years, probably. I've never been to Indiana. Indiana is one of the few states I've never been to. I've been to most. I've not been to Indiana. It's too late to do a pilot tonight. I mean, if we did a pilot, we should have done it earlier, even though they're 23 minutes. Let's do it another night because I got to wrap up. It's over 9 hours now, and I do have shit. I got to move next week, and I do have shit to do. Eventually, I gotta visit. Not visit, but I gotta take care of that police matter tomorrow. You know, I've never seen Slapshot. I know it's a huge movie. Yeah, if I play a few minutes, I'm gonna play the whole thing, and I can't. I really gotta go. I really do. But we should set that up on Discord soon. Maybe even this week. We'll figure it out. No, I can't. There's no way I'm turning that off. There's no way I'm turning off a pilot. There's no way. I'd be here for the whole thing. Charlie Day for Isaac. That's kind of cool. I couldn't get the footage, Robert. I'll get it tomorrow. I couldn't get into it's not. It's a whole fucking thing. It's so secured that I gotta like log into something else. It's not letting me. I had to reset everything. Well, I like a good 70s R-rated movie. I'm not a big hockey fan, but I don't think you need to be to see that. I remember seeing parts of it. Yeah, we'll do. Maybe we'll do the. I don't know. I'll figure out the SWAT footage. I tried to figure it out earlier. We'll get it. You'll be proud of our guy. He did good. Yeah, I don't care about the Buffy animated pilot though. Like I want to watch something I care about. By the way, I should kill it because it's 15 minutes past. It's 9 hours and 15 minutes, and I really gotta pee. So, all right, guys, I'll wrap it there. We'll do that. We'll do that again because there's a lot of cool stuff, and we'll do the Discord viewing party. I think there's some stuff we can view on here. It's just we can't watch a movie. I don't think we can watch a movie. But one of those pilots would totally go under the radar. Maybe Wednesday night. Maybe Wednesday night after the stream. Well, that's what we'll do. We'll watch. We won't chitter chatter. We'll go right into it. Yeah, he did. He did amazing, and you guys will be really proud of him. All right, fuck you. That Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pilot, we could watch that. Fucking 5 minutes. Fucking talk me into it. All right, motherfucker. Fucking sun's coming up again. Fuck. Here we go. Sorry. All right. I'm gonna stay on the watch. Do I still have that link? Because I'm on a different YouTube account when I'm on this. Because it's technically a thing. All right, don't say goodnight just yet. We're gonna watch this thing. Hold on. Don't say bye. Save your
Hey everyone.
Oh, how do I get? Can you link that channel again? Oh, cool. Is that a direct link? Cool. I'll grab that. I'm not gonna bother reframing this or anything. I'm just gonna put it in the way it is. Alright, let's watch
this. Deep beneath the streets of the city, a power awaits. A power silent too long. The power is back. There are those who seek to extinguish the power. Destroy them. This time, they come better prepared and equipped.
Prepare for mega modification. Don't scratch the paint.
as there are foes, so are their allies.
Great time, guys. Save, Case. Now, what say we score a few points?
My students, attack me. You must learn the power that comes with inner peace.
They shall face things not of this earth.
What the heck are those? I don't know, but they're not of this earth. Should we try to communicate? I'll do my communicating with these. Of course, I'm open to suggestions.
What the?
Time to get the shell out of here! Technically speaking, this thing's taking our biscuits. Let's get out of here.
Remember what Splinter says.
Eat healthy and get enough sleep?
No. Work together. Let's do it.
So return to the power. The passion.
If you should ever fall, Master, I will lead them.
The pizza.
Oh, time to switch to a new food group, dudes.
Get ready for the return of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Cowabunga! Hey, we talked about that.
You know, it's funny. I'm not the biggest Turtles fan because I think I was definitely a little too old when it came out. But I would have watched that. What is that? Somebody said that was from 2002. That's pretty. I would watch. It looked pretty good. Maybe 2002 they weren't ready for a reboot now. No, I didn't pee. I watched it. But yeah, it could have been something maybe. But it looked a little video game. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't. I remember seeing the first movie, just because everybody else was going to see it. But I'm gonna watch the new He-Man. I mean, I'm gonna give it a chance. I don't like Kevin Smith at all. I'm not a Kevin Smith fan, but I'm a huge He-Man fan from the '80s. So I am gonna watch it. I hope they don't fucking, even if it's decent. Remember there was a He-Man reboot in the early 2000s as well on the Cartoon Network. It wasn't. I don't think it wasn't a continuation. Like this one is a continuation of the original Filmation series. I think that was just a strict reboot. It was okay. I Love You Too, Hulk. I don't really remember the movie, to be honest with you. I saw it back then, and I don't remember it. But I was more into the video games. And I watched the cartoon only because it was on. Like when I came home from school, like that, that. But I didn't have the toy. I didn't read the comics or anything like that. I wasn't that invested. But all right, we'll do this again. Maybe on Wednesday after the stream. I can't guarantee it. You know, I try to make Wednesdays a little shorter, but maybe Wednesday after stream I'll watch one of those other pilots. We'll pick. We'll do a little lottery, and we'll pick. Well, not a lottery, but we'll do like a vote or something like that. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's interesting. That's why you guys are great. Cam Clark, who voiced Leonardo, was Prince Adam in that. That's hard to do. I love the guy who did the voice, even though it was like not the greatest voiceover guy. The guy, he's passed away now. The guy who did He-Man, Prince Adam in the original show is so good. I think that's He-Man to me. And I heard the guy in the trailer for the new He-Man. It just doesn't sound like that. But and also, why can't you get the? I think the guy who did Skeletor originally is still like if the people that did some of the original voices, in the original show are still alive, you should give them the gig. But anyway, we'll end on that note. We'll end on He-Man. We'll add it to our watch list of shit to do. So there are people, like I'm getting messages now, people waking up, I can't believe you're still doing this. What happened with me? Well, you'll find out. I should have this up immediately, by the way, on Patreon Credenza, because with YouTube it's very easy, because that Vimeo thing is not resolved as of yet, so this will be an Insta upload. Is it Mark Hamill? Yeah, see, I'm kind of over Mark Hamill but the original Skeletor actor reprised his role as Skeletor a few years ago. They did do, for something, He-Man wasn't in it, but they did a Masters of the Universe episode, and it was just Skeletor, and it was interesting because it was his thing. I don't know why Ruth Chris would be in the mall. The Ruth Chris near me is by a mall, but it's not in the mall. This sounds like it's in the mall. But we'll see. You know, he could change his mind by tomorrow. He could want something else, but we'll see. I think he deserves it, though. Hey, Perry, do you like him? Oh, dude, what the fuck are you waking me up for? I don't know fucking email. Yeah, Alan Young did Scrooge McDuck for that game, like right before he died. They caught him right at the right time. And he's the ultimate Uncle Scrooge. I never watched the DuckTales reboot. I think I tried to. It wasn't working for me. I don't like Huey, Dewey, and Louie having normal, distinct voices and be all hip. But, yeah, Mark Hamill doing voiceover. And it's like he's great as the Joker, but, I mean, I don't know. Skeletor, I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm an asshole for saying that. I didn't like him as Chucky, I'll tell you that. I thought that was terrible. The Child's Play remake that came out a couple of years ago, ooh, was that bad. Especially when somebody owned that character so hard. You know, Brad Dourif as Chucky is so perfect. Was the DuckTales movie good? I want to watch that. I want to watch it. I want to watch that immediately. That's another thing on my list. The DuckTales movie. I've never seen it. I want to see it. It's like watching new vintage DuckTales. It's crazy. I've seen every episode, obviously, but I have never seen the movie. Fuck. Okay, we're 2 minutes away from 9:30. I'm going to keep my eye on that. 9 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah, right. Why not? I mean, it's the reboot, but fuck. Why not get Brad Dourif? He's Chucky. Or just do a sequel or something. I don't know. I don't like that's so definitive. Like I could see if Brad Dourif had passed away or something like that, but Jesus Christ, you can't redo Chucky. It's like when they tried to get Freddy, do a Nightmare on Elm Street reboot, and it's not Robert Englund. Oh, Christopher Lloyd's in the DuckTales movie. I think I remembered that, but that's funny. I remember it being really short. I remember the runtime was 74 minutes, which seemed excessively short even for a kids movie. I remember looking at that because I remember looking at the theater times because it wasn't playing near me. I explained that on Friday. But I remember seeing the theater times was like, normally times are like 2 or 3 hours apart or whatever. Not 2, like 2.5, 3 hours apart. This movie was playing like every 90 minutes. I was like, wait, do they have it on 2 screens or is it the same? Or is it how are they running that? Like so. They probably I don't know what the deal is with Brad Dourif not doing that new Child's Play. I mean, you could even reboot it with him. It's just he's so good. You know what Brad Dourif's great in is The Exorcist 3. If you ever see The Exorcist 3, he's great in that. And they reshot a lot of the scenes they reshot, and they always say like his original take, like that's one of those notorious movies that was like recut and everything like that. But they say that his original takes, he had to redo all his scenes like months later for reasons not worth getting into right now. But they always say his original take on those scenes was really amazing and like one day. That's another subsection is movies that were brutally cut by the studio. If you can go back and recut them, and a lot of big movies get that chance, but a movie like Exorcist 3 will probably never get that chance. But boy, he's so good in that movie. He's the reason. Him and George C. Scott are the 2 reasons to watch Exorcist 3. Goddamn is he. Yeah, Brad Dourif's great in everything. Great in Deadwood, obviously. Great in Child's Play. Great in everything. Just great. He's so good. Yeah, Alien 3 is shit. I never saw the second Exorcist. I only saw the first one and the third one. And I don't know if there was anything else after that. It's like Psycho. I never saw the fourth Psycho. I think it was made for Showtime like that. But everybody says it's good. Because I really like Psycho. Psycho 2 is one of my favorite movies. Like, not just favorite horror movie, favorite movies, period. I really like Psycho 2. Another movie that has no business being as good as it is. No business being, it's Psycho. If you haven't seen Psycho 2, you'd laugh at it, the fact that it didn't make it, but it's really good. And then 3 is okay, and then 4 I've never seen. Dr. Sleep we talked about. Dr. Sleep's fantastic. I still never saw the extended cut. I want to see the extended Dr. Sleep. Dr. Sleep's fantastic. One of the best. In fact, somebody said the other night, what's the best horror movie? I don't know if you count that as a horror movie, but I'd definitely put Dr. Sleep in there as best horror movies I've seen in the past 10 years or so. Fantastic. Psycho 2 is great for the twist, but it's also great, God, Anthony Perkins is so good in Psycho 2. He's better in Psycho 2 than he is in the first one. He's so good. I mean, and you think about how tortured he was in real life about that character and how typecast he was, and just to return to that character all those years later, and he plays it so good. There's so many great scenes. It's really handled with great care, and there's a great Jerry Goldsmith score as well. It's got some schlock in it that's unfortunate. Very, very minimalistic points that I have against it, but man, it's really good. 3 is okay, but it's not in the same league. 3 is kind of standard slasher shit, which is unfortunate. But yeah, if you like the first Psycho, see that. It's funny about the you don't want a Shining sequel. I understand, and it's really hard to do a sequel years after the first movie. Yeah, Psycho was filmed. Hitchcock used his TV crew for that. If you look at it, it kind of feels TV-ish. He used Alfred Hitchcock Presents crew to film Psycho. He didn't even have a real film crew. It was all TV guys doing that. Yeah, it's Mumbles. It's worth. Fuck that tour sucks so bad because it's they just blow right past it. They blow right past it. The house doesn't look like the house. It does, but it doesn't. It's technically the Psycho 3 house, but the Bates Motel. They should at least stop I've seen Lorenzo's Oil, but years ago. I barely remember it. There's a couple of trailers for Psycho, the original Psycho, but one of the things I love about Psycho is it's I'll have to end with this, but it's one of those. It's the movie that really brought forth like show times for movies, because back in the day, and I know my parents would tell me this, they would go to the movies whatever time. Like they just show up at the movies, and then like they'd walk in the middle of a movie and then watch that movie until it was over, and then watch the next showing, and then walk out when they came in, which is ludicrous to me. Hitchcock hated that, and Hitchcock didn't want anybody doing that for Psycho. So he had these strict rules for theaters saying like nobody will be admitted after the start time. It was a big deal in the campaign for the movie. Like there's a great one of the trailers is Hitchcock basically telling you that he's in a movie theater saying you will not be allowed in after the start time, just to preserve the movie for you, so you don't get it ruined. Which I thought was great. And it's funny, when I was a kid, I went to see Wrath of Khan, Star Trek II in the theater when it came out. I was a little kid, and my friend's dad took us, and he did that bullshit where he didn't even look at the fucking showtime. And my dad would always look up the show times, and that's what I was used to. This asshole, he was a nice guy. He was a cop, but a retired cop, and he took us to see Wrath of Khan, and we came in at the scene where they're doing the check. Captain Kirk is doing like a check of the Enterprise before they take off, and you don't know anything. You don't know anything about the movie. And I saw it from that point to the end, and then we stayed until the next show, up until that point, and we left. And I was so furious, and I came home to my mom like screaming. She's like, "How was the movie?" I was like, "Well, the movie's great, but the experience was terrible." And I went into it and I said, this fucking asshole. I didn't say fucking asshole, but I was like, this jerk took us into the movie. It didn't even look at the showtime. It was already playing. It was like 40 minutes into the movie, for Christ's sake. And she's like, "Oh, we used to do that all the time when we were kids. That's how it used to be." I was like, "Well, that sucks." She's like, "Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock stopped that." I was like, "Well, good for him, because that sucked." And every time I see Wrath of Khan today, I remember that fucking scene I came in, and I still hate him. I still hate his fucking guts. I hate that guy's dad. I hope he's dead. I'm sure he's dead. He was older, but God, I was so pissed off at that. But anyway. That's what started them displaying showtimes at movie theaters. Otherwise, people would just walk in. It's so crazy that people were still doing that. You shouldn't be allowed in any movie after it starts. I mean, with reason. I know there's 20 minutes of trailers nowadays, but back then. North by Northwest is my de facto favorite Hitchcock movie. No question about it. And Cary Grant's my favorite Hitchcock leading man over James Stewart. James Stewart was really mad at Hitchcock that he didn't use him in North by Northwest, and because Hitchcock thought he had overused him at that point, and that's why Cary Grant. I can't picture James Stewart in North by Northwest. It wouldn't work. The private investigator's interrogation of Norma is one of my favorite scenes for Psycho. Balsam and Perkins were very natural. Yeah, I don't like the unnecessary exposition at the end of Psycho where they have to explain it for the dum-dums in the audience. But other than that, I agree with you. But Cary Grant in North by Northwest is just perfection. It's his best. It's his best movie too. It's his best movie. He's perfect, absolutely perfect in it. Great score too by Bernard Herrmann. But yeah, if you haven't seen Psycho 2, it's great. Rope is good too. I like Rope. I forget what movie Hitchcock falls off on. Maybe it's The Birds, where it's like, ooh, and then after that, yeah, I don't like The Birds. The Birds is... I don't understand the point of The Birds. It's like, it's okay. It's not that good. Like Family Plot and stuff like that. I mean, where it's like, he's far past his prime. That's what drives me crazy about Tarantino, because he doesn't want to make any more movies. He wants to do like maybe one more movie, because he doesn't want to turn into one of these directors like a Hitchcock that where their legacy is kind of like has an asterisk, where it's like they didn't get out at the right time, where it's like they went on too long, and he doesn't want to turn into that. But I don't know. I think it's stupid. Perry might be a replicant. You might be right on that. I don't think you're missing anything, Mumbles on the Birds. It's probably worth watching because it's got some great shots in it and everything. It's very Hitchcockian, but it's just not... I don't know. It's not great. What is Tarantino's asterisk? Because I agree with you, he does have a couple. He's not perfect. What do you think his asterisk is? Because I have my opinions on that. My favorite episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, it's not the greatest one, but I like it because I really remember it really well, is when the husband comes into the wife and says that he's leaving her for another woman, and there's nothing she can do about it. And she has a roast, like that she bought from the butcher, this giant roast, and she just whacks him over the head with it, and he dies. And then the police come over and investigate, and she cooks the roast while they're there, and then they all eat the roast, and basically are eating the evidence of her murder weapon. And she just smiles, and she gets away with it, which is pretty brazen for a show of that time, to like not only have a murder, like a woman murdering a man, but have her get away with it. I thought that was... So that's my favorite episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Really, you don't like Jackie Brown? I could see that. I didn't like Jackie Brown for a long time. I'd have to ask you, when's the last time you saw it? Because I didn't like it when it came out, and then when I rewatched it like years later, I liked it. Still don't love it. I don't love it the way I love the other movies. Inglourious Bastards I could kind of get too, because it gets a little self-indulgent. But it's got great moments in it. And Django, I don't love either. And I don't like, I gotta say, I don't love Kill Bill. I don't hate any of them, but I don't, those are the ones that are like, eh. But, you know, Pulp Fiction, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Hateful Eight, I gotta watch that again. I gotta watch the Netflix Hateful Eight that has the extended, you know, when it's broken up into parts. I've been meaning to see that. But Jackie Brown is one of those movies where it's like, it's a good ensemble. Everybody's good in it. I never saw the full version of Death Proof. I kind of don't count Death Proof as a real Tarantino movie. Because it's just, you know. But Jackie Brown's great. Robert Forster's great. And it's great that Robert Forster got that turn in that movie, because he was such a journeyman actor. And he was in so many weirdo movies, and like throughout the 80s. And, you know, he was kind of like a B-list actor, and the fact that Tarantino gave him that starring role is kind of great, you know, over De Niro. De Niro wanted that role. De Niro wanted to be the star of Jackie Brown. He was actually really mad that Tarantino gave him that part that he gave him, even though he ended up doing the movie. But he couldn't believe that Forster got Jackie Brown, and nobody could. Like, Robert Forster was not a, you know, now everybody's like, oh, Robert Forster, oh, he's in Breaking Bad, he's in this and that. But he was fucking washed up when in 1997 when that movie came out, and he's the star for all intents and purposes. You know, he's really the co-star of the movie. So I give Tarantino props for that. It's good, but it's a good movie. It's a good LA movie. It's got style to it. It's not his best by any stretch of the imagination. It's a weird follow-up to Pulp Fiction too. And then it's a weird gap after 97. Like, you don't get anything from him until Kill Bill. That's a weird stretch. Like, what was he doing between Jackie Brown and Kill Bill? Like, what was he working on? Because that's a really long gap. There's no early 2000s Tarantino movie. It's very strange, actually. But yeah, he's already got some asterisks. But I guess he doesn't want to go into the shitter completely. You hate Elmore Leonard? I'm surprised at that, Mumbles. You really hate him? I mean, he's not for everybody, but to hate him, that's. I mean, I respect your opinion. Kill Bill was the right place and time for me. I watched it in high school. Took my kid brother with me to see it when it opened. Nobody in my hometown was there. We had the theater to ourselves both times. See, that's a good theatrical experience can really boost a movie for you. I have a lot like that. Reservoir Dogs, best film. Hateful Eight might be your second. Really liked it. Then again, it was your dad's first Tarantino film, and he was blown away. That's cool. I got to see Hateful Eight again. I saw it in the theater in 70mm when it came out, but I haven't seen it since. Reservoir Dogs I like a lot, but I wouldn't put it in my top list. Death Proof, but Death Proof came out with that like Robert Rodriguez film, and I don't think Robert Rodriguez doesn't even belong in the same room as Tarantino. I know they're buddies, but for them to have a double feature film together is ridiculous, because one is like this auteur, this amazing filmmaker, and the other one's kind of schlocky. I like Robert Rodriguez and everything, but he's not the greatest director. I like the concept of Death Proof. If Death Proof was like a 20-minute short, it would be good. Yeah, I read Get Shorty. I don't like Get Shorty. I don't like any of those. I like the Raylan Givens books. The one that was turned into Justified, the TV series. I like some. I haven't read all of them, but I liked a lot of those. Really? Tarantino has a zombie Zorro movie? Oh, that's such a bad idea. I hope he's producing it and not really directing it. You think Planet Terror was that? See, I didn't like Planet Terror. I thought Planet Terror was shit. But then again, I only saw it one time in the theater. And El Mariachi is fantastic, I agree. And I guess you called it Clutch Canuck on Django. It's fine, but one watch is enough. That's a good way to put it. And there's some movies like that where it's fine, but it doesn't require any revisiting. You're good with it. It's like, okay, that's fine. You don't need to see it again. I agree with you. I also don't like the way he used what's his name? The guy from Inglourious Basterds. I can't think of his name right now. The guy who was in Spectre and is overused to death now, but he was used so effectively in Inglourious Basterds, and he brought him back for the next movie, and it's just, you gonna go to him again? We just kind of saw him. I didn't see Hobo with a Shotgun. Did they ever make a real movie out of that, aside of the trailer? Christoph Waltz, right. And it's just like, he was used so effectively in Inglourious Basterds. He's the best part of Inglourious Basterds, and then all of a sudden he's in everything. And everybody's using him to the same effect. And that's what I hated about him being in that Bond movie, Spectre. It's like, you're really going to use Tarantino's guy? Like, he made him, and it's like, it's like using a song like that another movie made popular. It's like, you can't get somebody else. It's such stunt casting. And then he's in stupid comedies, and I just feel like he's used up. Like, you can't use him in any of those movies anymore. The fuck, that James Bond movie is really an atrocity. It's fucking an atrocity. So stupid. I hate it. I hated that movie. I hate it, and I don't remember it. I saw it in the theater, and I'll never see it again. Spectre. Ugh. Hobo with a Shotgun got made. Okay, I would see that. I like the Machete. I only saw the first one. I like that. I went to the New Beverly last year, but I only saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's the only movie I've seen there. But I like the it's a little dumpy. I wish it was a better theater. I wish it was a better theater. I did see the trailer for the upcoming Bond. I don't know if I saw the newish trailer that they I saw the original trailer when it was supposed to come out last year. I liked it enough, but I have my reservations about it. I feel like it's going to be very woke. I don't want to see a woke Bond, but whatever. I hope it's good. Daniel Craig needs a good Bond movie to go out on because he doesn't have too many. What's worse, Spectre or Last Jedi? Well, Last Jedi. There's nothing worse than Last Jedi. Last Jedi is the worst thing ever. And I have more of a connection to Star Wars than I do Bond, even though I love both franchises. So I'm going to say Last Jedi. That's the worst thing ever made. It's the worst movie I've ever seen. The worst movie I ever will see. There's nothing worse than The Last Jedi. In fact, I can't be friends with somebody who likes that movie. I can kind of get past somebody liking Spectre. Like, all right, you're crazy. It's a terrible movie, but all right, did you like this maybe part of it? Whatever. I can't reason with somebody who likes The Last Jedi. I can't be friends with you. I can't even talk to you. I can't look you in the eye. I can't trust you. It's like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I read a lot of the Ian Fleming Bond books. I was in a real Bond kick when I was in high school, and I read I think I read all of them. I even read like the non-Fleming. Yeah, there's some really good non-Fleming Bond books too. Like solid non-Fleming Bonds. Yeah, that's what's cool about New Beverly. You could see something like Reanimator and see the cast talks like that. That's really cool. Yeah, that's fair enough. For me, it's one thing to like Last Jedi, another thing to defend it like it's some kind of a misunderstood masterpiece. It's not misunderstood. It's a piece of shit. Yeah, and I almost didn't see Rise of Skywalker, and then a friend of mine last year like convinced me, like, wait, let's just go see it, just to see how bad it is. And I think we both felt there was nobody in the theater because we saw it like in February, like months after it was out, and it was just a piece of shit. I mean, but it was less of a piece of shit than The Last Jedi, but just a mess. When we were laughing at it. And I think I dozed off for like 5 minutes. Like, no joke. Yeah, I think I ran into one person in my personal life who liked The Last Jedi. And and it was a girl that I was friends with, and we were at a concert together. We went to go see Johnny Marr. This was like 2 years ago. And I think it was in conversation. We were talking about it. I forget how it came up. We were talking about Star Wars. And I just mentioned last night, like, oh, that's a piece of shit. Like, just assuming that she, of course, hated it, like every other rational human being should. And she's like, oh, no, I liked it. I thought it was good. And I just, like, are you fucking with me right now? Like, are you seriously? Really? And then she gave her reasons, but I didn't go too hard because she's a girl and everything. But I was like, oof, I gotta rethink this friendship. That's a great one. Last Jedi is like being forced to watch your best friend be sexually assaulted, like the South Park Indiana Jones episode. That's accurate. That is super accurate. Yeah, you are. You're watching a character that you grew up with, and basically worship just turn into like a pathetic loser coward that dies from being out of shape. Ugh. God, even talking about that movie makes me mad. That's good, Momos. Keep it that way. You've never seen any of the new Star Wars? I'm envious of you. Keep it that way. Don't ever see them. Let's not listen to the Grizzly Man dying, and let's not see any Star Wars Disney sequels. Well, the world will be a better place. Gene Hackman did a knee slap in the last Star Wars movie. Yeah, wow. I think a lot of people. Oh God, I can't believe we got to go off on this fucking note. I can't believe it. I got to end, and I can't believe we went off on The Last Jedi. After all the cool things we talked about, that's got to be the fucking ender. Ugh. I need a palate cleanser quick. Let's go back to talking about Psycho 2 or Best horror sequels. Ooh, God, what a horrible, fucking horrible movie. I never saw his movie too, Rain Johnson. Never saw Knives Out. I will never watch any movie he does in protest. I can't ever support anything he does. Robert, you're having a laugh there. And all Star Wars movies do not rock. Okay, the prequels are terrible, to varying degrees. Even Return of the Jedi has its issues. But no, the sequels are garbage. Call Perry. I don't want to call Perry. I really don't. It's no. I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me to call Perry. We'll do that one night. But not tonight. Okay, so Mumble, have we agreed that are all Grizzly Man audios fake? Are they really that well done fakes? Alright, so I got a lot of things on my to-do list. I got Revenge of the Sith is okay. It's got its moments, but it's such thing. The problem with Return of the Jedi is it loses steam for the first time. The first Star Wars is perfect. It's perfectly edited. Every scene advances to the next. Empire Strikes Back is breathlessly paced. Just one thing to the other. Always holds your interest. Return of the Jedi is the first movie where you get a little bored. Like, they rescue Han Solo, right? Oh, that's great. The opening's great. Everything's great. They leave. We're talking about the originals, not the special editions. They leave. Luke goes back to Dagobah, visits Yoda. Yoda passes away. After that, there's a lull for the first time in any of the movies where it's like, okay, when are we gonna pick up the pace here? Where they regroup with the fleet. They're doing the briefings and stuff. All that stuff's kind of boring. They get to Endor. It's still kind of what's going on here. Even before the Ewoks, there's that really cool speeder bike chase, and the problem I always had with the speeder bike chase in Return of the Jedi is, why not give that scene to Han Solo? Because he's got nothing to do in that movie. He really doesn't. And after he's saved, he just kind of stands around. Luke has so much to do in that movie, and I love Luke. But man, just fucking put Han Solo on that speeder bike. He's a pilot. It'd be badass. He can blast some stormtroopers. It would have been a badass Han Solo scene. They even have fucking Lando flying the Millennium Falcon. They don't even give him the Falcon in that movie. You don't see Han in the Falcon after Empire Strikes Back. Until Force Awakens, but we won't even count that. But it's just got Jedi's got some some lulls in it. But it's got some great moments too. It's still good. That's a pretty big list. You only watch Star Wars movies that Weird Al writes a parody to. I think he did 2. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of over talking about Star Wars. I do find it funny when the whole Rey thing comes up on the streams. and I know Perry had no idea who she was, but now he does. And then he's even said to me privately, he's like, because I said the other day, he was talking about his garbage disposal. I was like, oh, is that okay after the thing? He's like, yeah. He's like, why are you so fucking, why do you get so fucking worked up over that stupid bitch? He's like, why do you let her get to you? That fucking bestest Jedi ever. Why do you let her get to you? Why does she bother you so much? I can't explain to him. He's like, stop bitching about that fucking bitch. He's like, enough already. Get over it. He's not wrong. Yeah, of course I saw Johnny Dangerously. That's a great movie. It's one of the best Michael Keaton movies. Yeah, I know it's a Mazio thing. he's definitely, but it definitely gets extended. Who's good in Johnny Dangerously is Mary Lou Henner. One of the few like starring movie roles she has. She looks great in that movie. Favorite Human Centipede movie? It's hard to choose. Fuck Johnny Dangerously now. I gotta write that down. I'm due for a watch of Johnny Dangerously. What a great movie that is. It's so funny. It's got a lot of good bits in it. Ray Walston's really good in that. Yeah, it's the same reason the Stacy Peralta joke pisses him off. That's fair. Yeah, he has everything that's going to be in the auction. That is in the auction. Everything's in a bag. It's just not laying all over his couch. Multiplicity's very good. I don't think I've seen it since it came out. You know, it's weird. Multiplicity is one of those movies pre like widescreen TVs, like, you know, like the era we're in now for the past like however many years. Every now and then it would be on TBS or something like that, and it would be so oddly pan and scanned. I noticed that a lot about Columbia movies. For some reason, the atrocious panning and scanning, and that was the process used, you know, pre widescreen televisions, where, you know, when televisions were 4:3 like square, they'd have to pan and scan a widescreen. For a comedy, it's a very wide film. It's shot like, I think it's shot like scope or something, but it's like, it's jarring whenever it was. I mean, I haven't seen, obviously they don't do pan scan anymore, but it was always jarring to see it on TV because they'd have like multiple Michael Keatons and it would just be this awkward pan from left to right, whereas the real movie would have the whole image. That's great, Paul. An old doorman at the Improv told me 40 years in seeing actresses come in there, Mary Lou Henner had the best ass he ever saw. I believe it. I always thought Mary Lou Henner was smoking hot, and I normally don't like redheads, oddly enough. He replied to a tweet saying Daisy Ridley was just a pretty face with, she's not a face, she's a forehead. Some stan of hers did a drive-by on you. Yeah, I guess those people get hot about that. I don't, like, I got nothing against the actress herself, whatever. Good luck to her. I think she probably hates Star Wars as much as I do, or at least those movies. That's awesome. My aunt and uncle had a movie theater back in the 80s and 90s, and you watched Beetlejuice 22 times the theater. Yeah, I always wanted to know somebody who owned a theater, and you can just go in there whenever you want. That's awesome. All right, I feel like my palate's cleansed from Star Wars, and now we're at 10 hours, so I'm really going to go now. It's 6 a.m. Fuck. So maybe on Wednesday we'll do that. We'll do the sitcom thing. If you, I feel like there's always different people that hang out in after hours. Like the people here tonight won't be here on Wednesday. And the people here on Friday weren't here. You know, whatever. It's always different. It's usually some the same, but a lot of people are different. Oh, Dream Team. Dream Team is a good call. Dream Team's good. It's not great. It's good. Keaton's really good in it. Everybody's good in it. Christopher Lloyd's good in it. Peter Boyle's good, and the guy from Animal House, can't think of his name. He's good in it too. I think Mary Lou Henner still looks good. By the way, she still looks good now. I bet she has some really good stories too, because she has a memory for everything. She's one of those people that remembers everything. Yeah, good night, good morning, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I always like to know when we lost people. Like, we started out like over 400 after the stream, and then now we're down to a little under 200. I want to know where we lost people. I guess people had to go to bed. Really clutch. I didn't know that Ron Howard's in walking distance. That's new to me. I didn't see that new Bob Odenkirk movie, but everybody says that that's good. I'll watch that eventually. But thanks, guys. Thanks, Hero. By the way, Hero is the real hero of tonight because he hit us with those with that YouTube link that I'm going to be all over. I'm going to try. I'm not going to watch any. I'm going to, on my word of honor, I'm not going to watch any of those YouTube clips because we'll decide which one we want to watch. Because I'm tempted to like just stay up all morning now and watch them all, but I won't. I'll save it for when we watch it together, whether it's on Discord or here. My prerogative is to watch it here if we end early enough on Wednesday. But yeah, and thanks, Harry, and you're welcome. Thanks to everybody who was cool tonight, by the way, through adversity. We didn't have any. It really wasn't adversity. It was a scary moment that got addressed, and it was fine. It really was. And we're lucky. We're lucky they didn't show up when he was beating that cabbage in the hallway, because that could have been weird. But luckily all is well. Yeah, see ya, Hulk. See everybody next stream. Wednesday. Yeah, I'm not big in the watch parties. I think they're weird, but I think this is a good group of people. We all seem to be into the same shit, which is rare. Like a lot of people are into the same stuff. So yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good, and we can comment and stuff. And see, here it's hard. I don't know how Discord works. Here I can't pause. Can't pause on this. It's just the way it works. But maybe we switch over to, maybe we end the stream and then we switch over to Discord or whatever. But anyway, I'll end it there. Good night, everybody. And thanks to everybody who sent me messages about tonight. I really appreciate that. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good morning. Whatever. Bye.